Yeah, it is. Hey, we are live today, Monday, the 19th of February, 2018. And on the panel today, we have Yudit from Israel, we have Patricia from the UK, we have Levkungfu from the UK, we have artists from Germany, and special guest today is DOJO time. DOJO. Good evening, everyone.
Thanks for having me
Good
once again.
afternoon.
Thank you, Karen. It's good to be here.
Evening.
Hey. So, DOJO, you've got some things to talk about today.
Yeah, we can talk. Excuse me. We can talk about a whole bunch of things. What's the latest? What's not the latest? And I'm up to answer any questions if anybody got any questions. It's not like you know, like I'm all over the place where I'm so noticeable. You will have questions. So I'm just here hanging out. Give a couple of hours. You know, peace. I like to say peace, love, and happiness to all my family and friends who have a chance to listen in.
Hey. So you're not coming on tonight to talk about anything in particular. We just come to hang out together.
We can do both. Usually, I try to tell myself if I'm gonna hang out, at least have something to talk about. So I guess we'll just go with the flow, how the energy takes us. I mean, anybody in the chat room, if you got a question to ask me personally, you can ask the question, um, as well as anybody on the panel. I'm just here to discuss flat Earth. I'm here to discuss the future of flat Earth, and I'm here to discuss whatever anybody wants to ask me.
Jojo, can you do something?
Yes, yes,
I
I can.
can't hear you.
I have everything the loudest. That's not my end. I have everything on full blast. Should I try to?
Oh, okay.
Should I back in and come back in, or back out and come back in?
Let me just hear if I can hear a little bit on the replay. Hear if it's playing. I need to hear us. I need to hear you speaking, Dojo. Wow, so I go. I don't see it on my thing. Yes, there are people watching. There's 12 people watching. I can't see the. Oh, there it is. Hey, it turned up really late.
Well, on the Hangout itself is also a little bit low.
Yeah, it's all right.
In volume. Yeah, but we can hear him. Only you have to turn off the volume a bit.
Yeah. What? My volume's not even jumping. I don't even see the green going up and down. It's never occurred like this before. Should I? I can back. I can log off and then try and log back in. Should I try that?
And maybe because on that doubled Hangout, I could hear you
Yeah, you're
fine.
a bit louder on the playback. They can hear you on the playback. It's just a tiny bit lower than us, but you can hear you okay. Dojo. Always got to have a bit of technical, haven't we? Dojo?
I'm here.
Yeah,
It's
we
funny
can
because
hear you okay on the playback.
I don't know what does that mean. You can hear me on the
Well,
playback.
you know when it's what they're watching in the chat room on the watch page.
Oh, I see. Okay. I mean, I'm cool with that too.
Well, we can always talk about this bit. I was on a hangout. I think it was with Joe, wasn't it? And you were on there with some of your friends talking, and I heard you talking about like you were talking about people's egos and that you have to respect your ego. And I just became sort of, wow, I want to hear more what this person's got to say.
Yeah. Is there a delay?
Maybe a little one.
Okay. I don't. Let me see. Let me try something on my end because I'm actually comfortable sitting right here, and I don't see why my voice is so low. Um. Yeah. Like you're mentioning, the thing about ego, I've learned to deal with my own. I mean, I can't tell anybody about theirs. I can only just show them how I show them my experiences. I think I discussed that with you uh, a few months back. It hasn't been a discussion any further than the one we had prior to the one we're having now. I don't want to involve myself with my ego any more than I need to. I don't really know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the topic of discussion should be about health, because that's what I mainly deal with. If I'm discussing anything outside of health, or how can I improve care for an individual, I get it's like I'm scrambling around to, like, not make things up, but to fill in gaps. So when it comes to somebody else's ego, I don't mind that. That's their ego. As long as they're not egotistic with me and what I got going on, I don't even pay attention to somebody else's ego, or if they're being egotistic.
Okay, then talk a bit more about health then.
A little bit more about health.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. I want to, the thing about health, and the thing about good living, good eating, good conversation, obviously meaning good communication time with those. I learned some valuable lessons in the last few months, and those lessons have turned out to be very, very valuable. And one of the lessons is the Privacy Act. I was when I first stepped on this whole social media scene, I was more outgoing than I was supposed to be. With the Privacy Act that was developed in 1974, which was not too long ago, but it does establish a code, a code of fair information. And that's what DOJO is about. That's what makes me different. That's what makes me unique, is because I'm about the information. I'm not about really anything else but information. And so now that I've come across this Privacy Act, it allows me to know myself more and what I'm capable of doing. In regards of health, you have the HIPAA. People are concerned about who they are. They want to keep their information private. They want to keep their, privacy has something to do with wellness. And so when I discuss privacy these days, and the Privacy Act, according to health and information and the wellness of family being, right, I'm noticing that there's a lot of power there, because it's not being secretive. It's not starting a secret society, but it is giving that individual the respect and the fairness to keep their information and their practices personal.
Right. And well, we're all like just numbers, aren't we? And you're trying to keep everybody as an individual, or understanding that they're an individual, and there is law that covers them. Then is that what you mean?
May I ask what you mean when you say they're just numbers?
No, I'm saying that's what we get treated as a bunch of numbers, not
people aren't
individual
people are
people.
people, and people are spirit. Okay, and so when people are people, I can understand when you mean that people are numbers. But I don't deal with people as people. I deal with health information, and so that means that people are spirit to me, because I serve and I worship the spirit of care, which is the spirit of comfort to some of you. And so I don't play or jaw jack or be long-winded about the spirit of care, because the proof is actually in the care that's given. So the number game is the equation, and how the person may want to express what they're doing for themselves in life. That's the number game. Everybody got to have the number game, because you got to take care of your family. Some people put bacon and eggs on the table. Some people put lettuce and kale. My thing is, I don't get involved with the number game, because I've mastered sufficiency, and by doing so, I'm efficient at caring for people. And so the spirit of care is here. It's around me. I don't know if it's around y'all. I pray that it is. But caring is all that I have, that can't be taken away from me. And I noticed that that's the first thing somebody want to take from you, is your heart, your goodness. The first thing somebody want to smear is how good you really are. And so I know that now. And so my thing is it's not about numbers. It's not about stats. It's about care.
Yeah. People I was just checking the chat room. The people were saying that you weren't that loud, but you sound kind of okay on the playback to me, by the way. Yeah. So is that something that's affected your life? Is it something like, because obviously you've changed things in your life then, Dojo?
No. Effects comes from causes. There's cause and effects to things. It all depends on what type of effect you're talking about, effect or affect. There has been an effect in my life. It hasn't been affect. I haven't been affected. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't been infected. But there has been some effects. You know what I mean? And I'm loving it. And I'm loving it. And I'm loving it because for one, I'm self-made. You know what I mean? That's off top. So I don't have to worry about what somebody else think of me. That's the beautiful thing about it. Now, when it comes to this cause that's allowed me to understand this effect that I'm going through, it's a beautiful thing as well. I don't turn my cheek. I don't blink my eyes, and I'm not losing sleep over nothing. Um, I feel great. The people around me feel even better. That's how I sleep comfortable. I don't know what else to how to describe it, but caring for everybody around you is the best thing possible.
Oh, yeah. So this health side of things, is it your wife's a nurse, isn't she? So she's obviously quite helped you with that, with this health thing or understanding the body. Yeah.
Understanding the body is like I've mentioned before, but I don't hold nobody accountable to what I mentioned before because all my content has been set on private and I've archived it all. Okay, and yes, my wife, obviously she's my wife, so she's my better half, she's my equal, and so she has her position on what she does for this health information and for this establishment and for our community. She has what she has, she does what she does. All right, she's a nurse, but she's more in the administrative part because nursing these days is not the same as how some may take the title. Okay, most nurses walk around with just clipboards and just flip papers real quick and go in there and look at you and make sure you're conscious. That's all. So my thing is she deals with energy and a level of it when it comes to certain how can I say it? When it comes to certain patients. Remember, I said it's Privacy Act. It's a privacy thing. And so when her department, what she does, right? She has a way of doing certain things that she's very good at. I have a way of doing things that I am very good at. And the few individuals that's becoming more aware of what they're very good at and want to establish themselves in the same grid that I am in, around the same community, are given the opportunity to do so now. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that those people who want to tell you that you must have all this money or you must have all this status about yourself or you must have all this character, you might want to revise what you're swallowing when they feed you that. Because those are the same people that tell you you're going to have to be able to do this and establish this off grid. America, and I can only speak for America because I'm here now, but America has been under attack, all different angles. And so the best information that I've accepted was, I'm not going to establish me in a community off grid. I'm going to take over the grid that I'm on, because the grid that I'm on has been abandoned, and it's not like it's in a dire need. And so I think that's the best decision I've made for this year, was to take over the grid that I'm on and establish good people like myself in my communities that are around me in this county that I live in. I yield the floor.
Yeah. So you're sort of talking about dis-ease in yourself, not the word dis-ease, but dis-ease. And you're talking about this higher consciousness, yeah?
I'm talking about both of them, dis-ease and disease.
Yeah.
My son contracted the flu. He passed out. You know what I'm saying? Ambulance came. Like I said, though, if I begin to explain my awareness or my experiences and how I dealt with the trauma, or how I dealt with, or how my reactions were during that moment, right? It takes my frequency to a phase that I'm no longer going to. So I deal with disease and dis-ease. We deal with it all, because some people's doctor will tell them that the brain is ran on glucose. The doctors that are working with me, we tell people that no, your brain doesn't run on glucose. Your brain runs on thoughts. Thinking is what powers the brain, not glucose. I'm up for the debate. I yield the floor.
Yep, I get that. And most people don't realise they're thinking all the time, do they? But some people can't maybe express it. So that's a problem, isn't it? You know, those that can't talk about things.
Everyone can talk about things. Some people are born with handicaps that give them the disability not to talk at all. But everyone can talk about things, and how I know that is because they talk to themselves consciously all the time. People feel that the voice in their head is actually them. But yet when you ask them their name, they'll give you a government name. And so it's a lot of things that people don't know about themselves to what causes me to hinder my communication with a few of them, because it allows me to understand that if I don't hinder my communication time with these people, I'm going to either flash or I'm going to become disruptive, and they're going to lose guidance. They're going to lose love. They're going to lose what I consider that I fight against, which is care. And so as long as I stand on mine and I'm doing what I'm doing for the spirit of care, I don't think that I can be challenged at anything else. People can have the right to brag. People can have the right to say that they're the one who invented swag. I don't care about anything that has to deal with, or I have to speak on anything other than the spirit of comfort. If it's not about comfortability, and I'm not talking about me being self-comfort, because I'm already comforted, but it's not the same when you can't share it. That's what makes my stomach turn about millionaires that don't understand this method. But most millionaires do. They know that they must establish themselves in order to keep this certain standard of comfort for themselves. Yeah, they'll donate to whoever and whatever donation, right? But they make sure to know the numbers and know how to establish their comfort, you know? So what's missing out of that equation is that they don't really expose their spirit. You see what I mean? And that's what's really being targeted, is those people who express their spirit a little too much like I used to. That's why they want to take away my goodness. But it's not for sale. I yield the floor.
Yeah, so it's sort of back to what that bit when I met you about understanding what your ego's all about, because you need some of it to be able to wake up in the morning and get out of bed. But the other point is you're not supposed to be using it against each other. So if you've understood who you are as a person and what all this ego thing is about, you don't need it. You don't need it the same way as a lot of people think you do. But yeah, if you get past that, then you can start communicating, understanding, and learning. That's what I reckon.
Communicating and learning, you say?
Yeah, you're really low, Dojo.
I don't know what to say.
That's better.
No, it's cool, but you got to understand that when you said that several times, Karen, I requested that I drop off the panel and try to come back on. The only reason
it's okay now.
was because I was going to maybe change my computer or something, but it's not my fault if I've already gave you an option. Gave me,
it's okay, my darling. You picked up.
Cool. It's all right.
You picked up, and then it dropped down a bit, and now you're perfect.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm almost kissing this thing. Let me see. Look, I'm almost kissing this thing. See how close I am now?
I know.
Don't
touch
my nostrils. But it's all good, though. It's all good. How y'all doing? I mean, I don't want to be the only one on the panel. The show is not about me. I just came to show some love, spread some peace. If I'm able to. A lot of people, I don't resonate with a lot of people, and a lot of people don't resonate with me. I'm totally okay with that. I'm okay with that.
But I know why that is, because you're a very sensitive man. Without, and I see that as a strong thing, by the way, to be really sensitive. That's what helps you. I don't know. It's not left me since I was a child, and I've said this before. A lot of people on the panel are very sensitive people, And I bet you it's been there since they were children. I bet you the chat room, it's the same. This conscious, sensitive thing that you are, you felt it since you were a child, and that's why we're here. Anybody else on the panel? You artists?
Sensitivity.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's a good thing. I don't think being a sensitive man is a bad thing. I mean, most people in jail would probably tell you different. You know, you going to jail, if you get locked up, gonna be insensitive. I think that's a little different story. But I don't know. How can a man balance sensitivity and having an ego? That's crazy, huh?
Lev?
Some say I have an ego.
Yeah, I think it's the ego which makes people afraid of being sensitive.
Lev? Oh, you're there.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say about it. Yeah,
You've learned a lot about yourself, haven't you?
Sorry?
You've learned a lot about yourself, and as a person, I don't think you're very egotistical. You seem a very calm, collective, sensitive person, and you don't have to brag about it. I think that's what dojo means.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, like if it's describing your conscience as being sensitive, isn't it? So if you've got a sensitive conscience, doesn't that mean that your conscience can feel more? So then that means it's more receptive to what it's supposed to be doing. Do you get me?
Yeah, I think also a lot of sensitive people are empaths. They're empathic, whatever the word is. Yeah.
Sensitivity and feeling. So
yeah, it's different when you're an empath.
Then you make yourself more closed off to feelings. So you're more likely not to feel things like, you know, expressions and stuff. So it's important to push it in your mind. The idea.
But then some of us can't shut that off. You know, that I'm empathic, but that doesn't mean everybody else is. But I'm very sensitive to other people. I think that's what Dojo's talking about, and the fact that he's now balanced. He's happy about that part's balanced in his life now. He's learned how to sort of.
Yeah, that's the perfect word too. It's the balance, because when someone or something is off balance, they do not have good form. And good form is the most efficient manner to accomplish is good form, whether if it's in the boxing ring, whether if it's in a business meeting, whether if it's at the dinner table. Good form will always serve you well. You know what I'm saying? And it's the first step to acquire, you know what I'm saying, relaxation is really actually having good form. When you slouch, when your posture's bad, when your thoughts are crooked, when you're hoodwinked and you feel like you need revenge, you don't have good form. I yield the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everything's about balance like that, isn't it? Do you study martial arts dojo?
I can teach you how to whoop a nigga ass and keep him off you in the streets. I mean, if you consider that kung fu, like for instance, like in New York, they got people out there, these masters, they teach you the 42 laws or the 52 laws of blocking. I'll teach your ass the 53 laws of striking. You know what I mean? And you got to watch my language, but I'm dojo. And the way I see it is, whether if it is kung fu, you know what I mean? I've known some of the greatest masters to take an ass whooping. You know what I mean? And even Bruce Lee would have to get his ass whooped a couple of times to become the greatest who he is. Same with Muhammad Ali, you know? But my thing is this. Kung Fu was always about balancing the spirit and balancing the soul. It had nothing to do with combat. It had nothing to do with that. A lot of people would tell you it has something to do with self-defense. But even self-defense has technicalities. You know what I mean? So dojo, I'm more about the way. You know, when you look at the word dojo and take it for its etymology, I'm more about taking and seeking the way. And that way is balance. I yield the floor.
Maybe it should be dojo time. Maybe it should be dojo way. Carry on, Lev.
Yeah, that's why I said it, because you like said like it can be like when you're talking about your discipline, whether it's in a boxing ring or in a business meeting, it doesn't really matter. So then it kind of prompted me, do you study martial arts, because that's what you're supposed to be studying to be a better person and disciplined in everything, not just combat and stuff. It's about life, isn't it?
And you are most definitely correct. That's why I wish Raw was here, because with what you just said and with dancing, and when you mix them together, life turns to this precious fruit. It turns into a fruit. Um, Dojo understands exactly what you said. I yield the floor.
Yeah, we've got to
Yeah.
remember to be dancers. Carry on, Lev.
That's it, innit? Promoting balance and stuff.
We're saying, although you probably don't do that many movements like that, but we were showing Jay, do you remember? Because the way you were moving through the air, it could have been ballet, but you were doing kung fu.
Kung
my
Fu.
picture.
I'm sorry,
Dojo.
go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. Kung Fu and the way the body is being, the way the body vibrates and it's moving in its orbit within itself, right? It's automatically working in a harmony with your lymphatic system. That's the reason why I refer to Raw, as well as my new friend and my new homie that I'm talking to on your panel, is because I've had my conditions, so I don't have to bring my conditions up, health conditions that is. And through physical therapy, it's been adopted, these movements, these pop lock movements, these kung fu stance that makes me yield in a certain position to where my legs and my knees and my ankles feel like they're gonna just break. But when all of it comes together and I already have a balanced mind, this is what I mean by good form. Life is an expression itself. So right when you wake up in the morning, you are already expressing life. And so that's what Kung Fu is. Kung Fu is life. It's the expression of life. That's why nobody could whoop Bruce Lee's ass in the end, because he knew that the best way to fight somebody is to use as less energy as possible to disperse energy strong as possible. Once you understand that, you see how Tesla understood a couple of things about Bruce Lee as well. So it's not these people who becomes the monuments, it's Mother Nature who gets the credibility, because she allows us to move like this, and she allows us to have the magnitude to whoop somebody's ass, or to, should I say, to learn from a mistake and take an ass whooping. I yield the floor.
Yeah, I think that unless you know yourself, then a lot of what you said, it's just not going to resonate, because you need to know yourself. And then when you know yourself, or even, waking up to more of flat earth thing, what I thought was important isn't important anymore. The things I thought were important are not important anymore. Unless you've gone through that, you're never going to understand the next bit, because you're never going to listen.
Well, to me, I think flat Earth is very important. The reason why is because flat Earth, see, my wife and I and a couple of other people, right? We're starting this health information thing, okay? And what we're geared toward is the flat Earth thing, because the flat Earth it's automatic. It automatically, I'm sorry to say it, but I got to. It automatically brings that axe. It automatically puts people in a clutch, because only a flat earther would allow a free thinker, or would allow a guru, or would allow a rabbi, from the streets, like Yudit. You know what I mean? Yudit and I have almost parallel backgrounds. We were both born and raised straight from the spirit of air, from Shu. You know what I'm saying? We were protected by the spirit of death. I'm honest, I can speak for myself at this point, okay? And so what I'm saying is this, is that when you have this destiny that has control of over you, it's the same type of destiny that Paul spoke about in his epistles when he says that he was under a constraining love. When you're constrained by your destiny, it's kind of like you already marked. So dying is out of the equation. You can damn near come to the gates of heaven And trust when I say Jesus is gonna be like, turn your ass around. You know what I mean? Because you're not done. It's just something about being finished, but you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even know finish what. You know, there's no manual to it. And so it's just a lot. And you said a lot. When you know yourself, then you can be about your business. It's the same when Christ said that, remember the part, see, the Bible believers, they understand when I say, when Joseph and Mary, when they would travel, because they would travel. Back in Jerusalem, they would be long roads, even though this is myth. A lot of people will say, boo, this is a myth story. But listen to this. They would travel, right? And so they lost the baby Jesus. They lost him. And so it took them 3 days to get back to the city where they lost him. The reason why is because they would travel by feet and by oxen. They didn't travel in cars. And people would leave in packs because they didn't have like street lamps to keep the roads lit. If you got caught out there by yourself, you can become food, And so going back, you'd have to wait till the next pack of people are going back. And so when they went back and they found him, the story is to say they found him in the temple, right? And the Mother Mary runs in there and said, oh, baby Jesus, we've been looking for you. Won't me and your father, right? And he turns around and says, I should have been. I'm about my father's business, Joseph, but she was referring to Joseph, and baby Jesus was kind of like standing up for his own little rights, disrespecting his mama, saying that I'm over here and over here. I'm being about my father's business, about being in there with the priest and putting them in order when it came to the scriptures. So I took it like, well, damn, I took that very personal. And so that's how it is. When you know yourself, then you know what business to be about. I yield the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, very nice stuff. Oh, Artis is back. Hey, Artis. He's having some microphone problems.
Headphones and microphone.
Headphones, yeah.
You hear me or not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You sound okay to me.
Sorry to interrupt the dojo.
That's all right. He just finished. When he goes, I yield the floor. I think, I've got to speak now.
I know people probably trip on that. Brother Sanchez and them, they see what that is. There's a lot of ways to yield the floor. And see, with us brothers, what we've learned to adopt is that sometimes when we begin to start speaking, it gets so fluent that it's like freestyling. Like when it comes to rapping or in hip hop, and you freestyling, and somebody can just be sitting there just coming off the head with words and freestyling. And it's like the momentum of a freestyle when you yield, when you're freestyling. This is the new freestyling, is building. You know what I mean? Shout out to the build. The youngin' know what's up. This is the new freestyling. The new freestyling is knowledge. You know what I mean? Because knowledge is power. But
you mean letting the knowledge come out of the people when you're talking? You mean letting the knowledge come out when the people are just talking and just letting go?
Yes, knowledge will come. It'll let you, because a liar cannot do that. A liar is not able, or a liar is not given what they call glossolalia. Glossolalia is that tongue. You know what I mean? Only somebody who's a truth speaker can just flow so long without saying, okay, that person was long-winded, but the knowledge comes out. And if the knowledge comes out, or should I say, when the knowledge comes out, how strong was it? Was it powerful enough information to make a change in somebody's life? We haven't discussed a lot of things. We can talk about economics. We can talk about constitutional law. We can talk about autopsies. I can talk about a lot of things because I'm an nephrologist. But people like myself are scorned because of a lot of things that we do know and a lot of things that we will not accept because it's not validated. You know what I mean? And I don't mean validated by your government, your federalist, not even by your state or local servicemen. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just by a naturalist. Does nature validate what you say? Nature validates, and she puts a period on every end of what I do. You know what I mean? As a botanist, it proves that. And so that's what I mean by health information. In the botany field, it goes hand in hand with health, because the new veganism, these fruitarians, these beef eaters, all this dietary under information needs to be put in proper understanding. There's people who will not stop eating steaks. They will not stop eating pork. I'm okay with that. And those are pretty good people. It doesn't make you a sinner or some type of evil person because you eat beef. But it does make you ignorant when you play dumb to what you're eating and then you come contagious of something.
Yeah.
It does make you ignorant. Now, those who want to play ignorant, I'm not the person to come speak with. Okay? I'm the person that comes speak with when your limbs are about to get chopped off because you played ignorant so long. Now you're getting gangrene or gout, or now you have diabetes. Now your worksheets from your medical records are showing this. Then they bring this information to me. You might be asking yourself, who are they? I'm talking about my community. Everyone doesn't run out here in America on the same health information plan. Your insurance is totally different. Okay, your people are cattle. Sad to say, but they are. People are cattle in the medical field. If you have a certain insurance level when you come through the ER, this is the level of care you're going to get, and that's hands down. You know, and if you go in through the ER with this level of care and come to find out you are sustaining the wounds that you came with, but your x-ray showed you had a tumor somewhere in your gut or in the back of your dome piece, that puts your life expectancy on a different bracket, but it doesn't put your insurance there. You see what I'm saying? And so when you're talking with DOJO, I'm the perfect candidate when it comes to neighborhood activists, because your neighborhood should be thriving in life just like you do. I yield the floor.
So you're helping a community in need who want to do things differently anyway now. They don't like the state way or those health plan ways. They want to do it a different way now. DOJO. Oh, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Every flat earther that I've came across, every flat earther that I've researched, they understand one level of information to be fact, and all flat earthers can validate that factual level. They don't want to do nothing with the government, and they don't want to have shit to do with NASA. That's a fact. That's an absolute fact. And so even those flat earthers who hear me today and they still work a 9 to 5, you know what I'm saying? Or they do whatever for their bread and butter, for their government, or for their government, that's a guilt trip that they gotta wear. That's a jacket for them. That is not a jacket for me or those few people in my community. And that's not sad, and that's not being competitive. What that is saying is these are our policies that we're practicing out here. The thing what people fall short about knowing about California is that us Californians, right, we're way over here. Y'all way over there. And every time something occurred way over there, we took notes and watched why everybody got fucked up way over there. So that's why racism and like all kind of other stuff wasn't out here in California when those traumatic times were occurring. It's because we was taking notes, and we're still taking notes. You got to understand, if I'm chartering the sun, everyone out there listening to me, you're in a location that possibly get the sun before I do. That means the day will serve you before the day serves me. How are you looking at your celestial bodies? How are you worshiping the moon? What are you talking to when you revere the sun? Are you even praying to a spirit? You get what I'm saying? So DOJO isn't for everybody. I have my oracle, which is Yudit Bass. I have a sunshine, which is Karen. I have a perfect panel, which is sun, moon, and which is the sun and the moon. I don't need a page. I don't need subscriptions. I don't even give a shit about thumbs down, especially now people can go spend $5 and put 100 thumbs downs on your video. Trolls got that capability. So if you're fighting a battle that may seem or may appear that you can't win, chances are you can't. I yield the floor.
Oh, Jojo, we love you. Yeah, well, we've got to be able to, debating is the wrong word, but we've got to be able to communicate and talk together as people, and none of us are the same person, so we're all going to have a slightly different view anyway, aren't we, coming in? But yeah, I like what DOJO says. And yeah, does Yudit or Patricia or Lev or Artist want to say anything?
I agree with Dojo. I like a lot of what he says. His intentions are the right kind of direction.
Yeah, you have to tell people slightly more, sort of a little bit more abruptly. Otherwise, that's there's not time for there's no real time left anymore, is there, to mess around?
I don't know how much
You've got to
time
say it the way it is.
It's difficult to wake people up, isn't it? I don't know if we've got to wait for people to be ready, or I think most people came to it on their own, didn't they? You know what I mean? They looked it up and started checking out conspiracy theorists and stuff like that, and then found it themselves. I don't know whether you can be pushed into it. Like everybody I've spoke to at work and stuff, I don't know whether anybody's actually watched it. Nobody's come back to me and said, "Oh yeah, it's flat." You know what I mean? But I don't know. Everybody thinks I'm probably joking with them or something like. But some of them take me seriously. So I've encouraged people, planted that seed in their mind and stuff. But I don't know. Is another wave of people going to come or what? I don't know. The
Anne's in the chat room. She's saying there's 140. I think I can't remember. It's 140, 144,000 people that will be awake, and that's it. She was writing it to me. So, but I have felt this. Like there seems to be such an upsurge of people waking up, and now it seems to have slowed down. I think. Dojo.
It has slowed down, but it might pick up again. I don't know. What does it mean? 144,000? Is that like a prophesized limit of people that are going to wake up? Or
yeah, that's it. We
It's
might be
it.
Possibility.
And not everybody. That's the thing, isn't it? It's quite everything when we look into this is so deep, and that's what this is about. This is very deep. Carry on, Dojo.
It shouldn't be. See, the depth of things lets you know that that manipulation, or should I say, something is deceiving you. Nothing about life has a depth. Okay, it really doesn't. And the person who mentioned the 144,000 according to the biblical context, right? That's basically 12,000 times 12,000. You know what I mean? Which is the 12,000 tribes, which is the 12 tribes of Israel. So if you look at the 12 tribes of Israel, and that's 12,000 each tribe, that's, if I'm not mistaken, 12 times 12 is 144,000. But I'm not really dealing with symbolic numbers, but I know that the symbolism with the 144,000 and the 24 elders and all of that, that's real good. That's real good for the spirit, because it has there's a lot of goodness and badness that was mixed up. Like it's like gumbo. It's like gumbo. You're gonna find your goodness or something that resonates with you no matter what. Keep reading. That's how the book is read. It's 66 books. So it's like you keep reading, you're gonna find things that resonates with you, especially in Proverbs. But life itself is your manual. Your life is your book. How you feel about things and how you express your life is the book. It's very difficult. Like, if I'm not mistaken, some of us feel like we're told that we're more aware, or we've awakened to this number, or to understanding a little bit more than the average person who ponders. But that doesn't mean that person is not living a chaotic life or a chaotic lifestyle. It's difficult when we say deep. Deep is depth. When it's already simplified when you know thyself from within and from without. When you know your body and you know your brain, your mind, it's easier. No one can tell you differently. And so when Karen would reference my wife and me knowing medical, it's like no other teacher is better than thyself. I've taught this to myself because it is me. It's me dealing with me. Don't you know that the lungs have this little small air pocket that's built right on the side of it. So when you take your very, very last breath, that last breath of air comes out of that little air pocket that's established on the side of your lung. You know what I mean? The body was placed together with these little unique ways to let you know that the whatever it or whatever was putting it together was talking to you already with your body. And like my homie just said on the panel, it's hard to express his ideology or his methods at doing something, whether if it's by his experiences or like myself, here I got a product, take this, or here I got a service, here's a solution. Whether if it's that way or this way, it's difficult today in society because it was built this way. It was meant for society to make it difficult for people like ourselves. And that's what we're up against. That's the reason why I started this conversation today with the Privacy Act, because it allows people like myself, like the gentleman that's on the panel, we can practice what we teach and what we preach about and the comfortability of people who entrust us without having to say, here, I'm going to jump off the bridge without a bungee cord. Okay? Life isn't about having a guard up all the time. That guard that you keep up, that government gave you that guard, and now you use it against people who would really love you for who you are. A lot of people don't trust me, and that's okay. But when I tell you that I can love you for who you are, I can. Doesn't mean that I will, but it does mean that I can. I yield the floor.
Well, I suppose what I could have put it is that life actually is a lot more simple if you want it to be. But often the he said, she said, and all that, by the time you're explaining it back, because we're talkers, you're a talker, Dojo, artists. Yudit, Patricia, and Lev are a little bit quieter. When they get going, they get going. But we're talkers. And talkers usually have to explain it 9,000 times to the ones that are standing there. That's when it becomes deep. Life isn't that deep. Things aren't that difficult. Life's a lot more, it's easy. It's just that we make it difficult. That's what I mean. Whew. I yield the floor.
Oh, you're funny. I love you, Karen. Yeah,
I
life
just
is.
thought I'd better make sure they're finished.
I'm just trying to. Hey, I'm just trying to be who I am, and identify myself. That's one big thing about Dojo. He's all about identifying. Identification is big to me. We have to, in order for me to agree with any one of you, and for that person to agree with me, we both must identify and come to a term to say and come to a terms that we both agree on the identification of things. That's it sounds complicated, but that's what life is. That's what if somebody has to understand what relationships are, especially because we all are still living, is relationships are built on identification. And that's another thing that's not a problem, but it's a smoking mirror. It's like a lot of there's a lot of us who are just in relationships that are not built to last, but we force the relationship to last. We have forced this relationship to last longer than what is expected, and then your destiny or your calling, or maybe you're a chosen one and you ain't been listening, so someone needs to smack you in the back of the head. Whatever the case, since you've been forced in this relationship, you're left to the agony of that relationship due to the fact that that wasn't your journey. Your journey is for you. People need to understand that you must end relationships in order to keep going. But maybe that's just me being egotistic. As for me, I can't have a relationship that don't feed me. Now, I know it sounds complicated, or it sounds naive, or maybe even greedy, but no, it's not. And I've heard people use the statement before. People like Mr. Smith, Will Smith, and certain rappers and certain people who've came from really hard times in their lives and got somewhere with themselves, they will tell you that you must be around people that will feed you, meaning that they will feed you positive information. They will feed you positive energy. They will give you the inspiration you need when your motivation in yourself goes low. That's what I mean by being around those who feed you. It is not my fault if I pay no mind to those people who do not feed me. That's not a fault. That's an advantage. I yield the floor.
Yeah, and you like being around people who've got a similar vibration to you, really, then, Dojo, because that's what it is, isn't it? It's about being with people who are in the same vibration. That's what I think. And that's what's missing in the wrong relationship, because they're all in the wrong vibrations or they don't click. Yeah. I yield the floor.
They don't click because many people are taught to settle. We're not living in the days that we were taught to understand, whether if we were globalists, former globalists, now we're flat earth experienced. We're not living in the days that what some may think. It was said, even from all tribes, it doesn't matter what culture you come from, that it would be a spiritual war. It had nothing to do with these earthly matters. It had nothing to do with who's the best technician or who got the best graphics. It had nothing to do with none of this shit, right? It was a spiritual war. And so if your information, if your destiny, or even if your panel doesn't reflect spiritual matters, I really don't got the time for that panel, because that's the war that I don't know who's going to win. But I got my hard hat on and my boots stay on the floor. Look at the mud on them. You know what I'm saying? So either I can do one or two, I can do one or the other. I can sit here and I can talk a good one with a gang of people who can talk a good one with me. Or I can begin to help people, whether if I got to show them how to get it done, how I got it done, or let me help you or assist you in a matter of getting it done, fair exchange, no robbery included. You see what I'm saying? That's what Dojo is about. Good form, perfect balance, comfortability. It's that simple. If you make it complicated, that's on you. But those people who are around Dojo, we're not to blame for your agony. I yield the floor.
Well, I like what you say, Dojo, because there's some really weird people out there, and people do like arguing, and people do like the drama. They just love it. They can't get away from it, rather than because they obviously don't know who they are or something. Because if you do understand more about who you are as a person, other things become much more important. And if you're an empath, it's the people that are the most important thing. Yeah, you've got to have yourself in there, but the people are the more important. But a lot of people aren't looking that way, are they? But then I suppose if everybody was like that, you'd be inundated with people, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's see that everything make it seem like if everybody was like me, and it's not being like me. It's knowing what you about. Like confusion has a father for itself. Some of y'all know what I mean by that. And so if I understand and I'm in order and my structure matches my order, it is not possible for me to confuse my brother. And it shouldn't be possible for me to become the obstacle for one of my sisters. That's what I'm talking about. And so if I feel like I have a panel and I got 50 viewers, I'm doing my thing, Dojo doing his thizzle, I'm doing it, you know what I mean? I don't feel comfortable when I know that there's viewers or listeners that draws their attention or draw their resources from dead ends. You can't stick a funnel in something that don't produce. I don't know how y'all think and get down. I'm talking to your crowd, I don't get down like that. I walk around with a funnel, okay? And those who pour into that funnel must feed me, because I already pour into funnels. I pour into people the best I can. Neighbor, hood, exactly. Community, outreach, activists, So if more people would understand that it's better to be a positive energy than there is to be lugged down by negative energies, maybe they would understand. But when you try to do both and then you say, I don't believe in karma, people like myself say on a contraire, because it's like, you can't play both sides. That's like saying you can't just do both sides. You can't. If you've been a virgin before and you've been de-virginized, you know what I'm talking about. You can't say, I'm gay now and I'm not gay anymore. Nope, that's not how that works. If you slept with a man before, you gay for the rest of your life. If you smoked some crack before, you a crackhead you a crack addict for the rest of your life. Live up to it. That's what DOJO's about. If you say what you are, be what you are. And if that energy resonates with you, then so help you God. Because in the very end, we will all find rest. That's what I do believe in. So every enemy of mine, which I really don't have too many, should thank God for that I see that they'll rest in the end. I yield the floor.
Yeah, well, as we're getting older, time, it's not that, I know that a flat earther doesn't see time the same. Time's only a man-made thing. But here, in the time we've got left, it's beginning to sort of, we're getting older and everything, aren't we? So time is moving. There isn't this room anymore for, and look who's joined us at that moment, one of the dancers.
Yes.
Hi, Jay.
Hello, how are you all
Good, good.
We're doing
doing? What's up,
good.
DOJO?
Hey, what's up, Jay? JJ, what's up, man? How's it
You
going?
are up, man. I'm good, man. I'm hanging in there, man. You know, I'm grinding. I'm reaching out to the community. I'm gonna say this right now to everybody. We're all dancers, first of all, but the power of the community. I'm in the university, and right now I'm supposed to be applying for jobs. It's all a sham. They've played with me. And so now I'm graduating soon with a piece of paper to make my life easier. But check this out. I'm calling local studios in the community. Could be in a hallway. I'll have my degree of the sun in my hand, and I'll teach anywhere for anyone with love. That's it. That's where I'm at right now.
Hey, Jay. I was listening to a show. I was listening to a show back, and I was listening to a show. I can't remember when it was, but somebody had said something, and you were like, "Hey, I'll come out there and, you know, what is it that you do if you don't mind me asking? When you say that you're willing to travel for expenses?"
Yeah, totally. Well, what I do is portable. I teach atomic dance, and what I do is I'm a light worker. So when I teach my dance classes, what they're designed to do is to automatically put the body first right away. So what I do, I go in the room, I mention your solar plexus, I get you to acknowledge your solar plexus in your stomach, and then I say, we have a gospel called This Little Light of Mine, making connections. And they get it, aha, I am a being of light. We're done. You have 5 points to your body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I get you to count the parts of your body. Then I say to you, that's why you point your human star. When you point your feet, your dimensions. So what I do is I take you on a journey with dance, but your body is the thing, is the star of the show. So as we go on and progress, I also show how the 5 elements align with the 5 major positions of ballet or hip hop or contemporary, capoeira, every modern Afro-Caribbean, they all have elements. They don't call them elements, right? They call them spiritual words, right? But we know this. So I give you your 5 elements. Before class, I get you to say earth, water, air, fire, and ether. I get you to acknowledge that the ether is the dodecahedron, very important symbol of the ball. So when we're dancing in fifth position, we hold our ball. Anyone can do that. It's a flat earth symbol as well. Haha, look at my body. Look at my body right now. What do you see, a dome and a flat plane, yes or no? So what am I doing in ballet? Look at me now, my head and the flat plane. So when I'm in 2nd position in ballet, I'm showing you that your dome is the main point on the flat clavicle, which means key. Earth in Sumerian is unkey. You have a dome over your earth. So I'm teaching how ancient wisdom in short period of time, how you are ancient wisdom. And I don't get you to stress and I put your body. I say you have a bicep and a tricep. 2 and 3 is 5. That's the 5 elements. And you go, oh, I get it. Or I say, hey, give me 5, right? Oh, I get it. 5. Everything is about going up. And that's, so yeah, so I'm very flexible. So I've taught my style of dancing. University of Iowa, I've taught atomic ballet here. I call my modern dance training angles in motion. It's very simple. Scientists need to slow down. It takes a square and a triangle, right, you get it, to make your circle. So when we were children, didn't we play with building blocks? And didn't the blocks have, right, you remember those blocks, and they had different shapes. And what were we doing? We were trying to rebuild our Humpty Dumpty again. Remember, he fell apart? You see, right? We're trying to build our sun going back to our solar system. That's what we're doing. You're putting your pieces together. So, very simple. My modern training is about making cubes with your body and triangles, and then a circle, which is the atom. But what's cool about it, I get you to learn my material. Now it's yours. I step away from you. I let you go in groups of people, beginners, people who've never danced before. Get this shit. Pardon my language, this stuff. They go in their groups. They go over the phrases. They face each other. And I kid you not, within 15 minutes, you have beginners choreographing, dancing, knowing atomic energy, knowing they are the sun, knowing they are the ether. Now, you might ask me, how are you doing all that in an hour and 15 minutes? I mean, it takes intellectuals to give you books and thousands of pages and years of training and, oh, simple. You look at yourself in the mirror and you will find all the answers that you have. But we don't learn that in school. So that answers your question. It's a very portable way of training. I can do it anywhere and with any clothes you wear, any genre, bring it. So I put that out there for anyone in the community. Yeah, I'm a community guy. Outreach programs, I've done them. Raven Project, I have it for you, where I have a rap song about astrology, which I can perform for you all if you're interested. It's a very good story about Venus, Jupiter, all the constellations. I choreographed a children's story ballet called Birds of Light about Venus. Very simple, where it's about everyone's battling Venus. They hate the morning star. They want her light. Then they realize at the end of the ballet, they all are stars and they have light, different kinds. Stop fighting. Simple message. 30-minute ballet, I have it ready for you. A song ready for you. I have a dance workshop ready for you. After you see the performance, maybe you see me rapping the song, showing you how a ballet dancer, teacher, and choreographer also spits and raps so that a rapper doesn't look like a gangster or a pimp. See where I'm going? Or a money guy only. No, this is a rapper who is unwrapping your mummification, the mind control. I'm with poetry. Then it's simple. You get a dance workshop. Now you can come meet with me and we can talk about angles in motion, which is what I use to choreograph my Birds of Light. This is outreach, to reach out to people. Yeah? Simple. So you get choreography. Awesome. You get to choreograph. You can watch a performance and see your children be awesome with astrology that I made that they can now do themselves. Then you can get some performance of poetry. Who wouldn't want poetry, choreography, dance, wisdom? And none of it is mine, it's yours. So I want to do it all over the world, Dojo. I want to do it anywhere I can for as long as I can. Yeah, man.
So you're graduating with the bachelor's in this, or are you mastering it out, your PhD, or what are you graduating? What do you? I mean, obviously this is a irrelevant question because you started.
No, you're fine. Good question. No, Joe. Good question.
No, what I mean by irrelevant, because you already know you never needed you never needed the paper or you never needed the accreditation for somebody to say this is what you're made of. You know what I mean? I know what you're getting at. But what I'm saying is that once you're done reaching the peak in education that you sought for. Mm-hmm. You know, my wife helped me to the same thing, brother. Trust. She was like, "No, you only got 2 more semesters. You're gonna fucking finish." You know what I mean? So there was no way I was going to just say, "You know what? I'm awake now. I'm a flat Earth. I'm out of this bitch." You know what I mean? I couldn't do that. My wife wasn't allowing that shit. She was like, "No, I don't give a shit if the Earth was a you. You're going to finish." You know. So I understand that. What is your when you finish?
Yeah.
are you able to charter with your degree? Like the example I'll give you is like when you become a doctor or a lawyer. Like if I became a lawyer out here in California, I won't be able to be a lawyer in Texas or in New York or in Kentucky, let alone be a lawyer out there in UK, because I'm not an international lawyer, or I'm not a, you know what I'm saying? So there's a difference.
Yep.
So when it comes to your
Got you.
degree, how well is your degree? How far does your degree take you?
Good question. Awesome question. Lovely. I'm happy to answer. I am new to academia. I'll be honest with you. I did not have an undergraduate when I got here. I had a buddy of mine send me an email saying that they were looking for diversity. They were looking specifically for people of color. I think you know where I'm going. Experiment. We call it the projects. They wanted a project. So they got people of color with no undergraduate experience, and they want to experiment. And I'm the only monkey left out of the other two because they could not deal with being treated like crap. You see where it goes. So yeah, I'm going for my master's in choreography. And to my understanding, when you're applying for, I guess, beautiful vision of the sky there, I love it. When you're applying for a job in university setting, you have to have either a BA or an MFA. And I believe that that applies for, let's say, if you're trying to go to England, as long as you have a piece of paper or a degree with the with your master's, then apparently, I guess you're certified to just go and do whatever you want to do, which I've seen. I mean, I'm seeing people on faculty and staff do whatever they want to do. They make mistakes and make it hard.
Italy?
Go ahead.
You said
Sorry?
Italy? You said
No.
Italy?
No, I'm not sure where you heard Italy. I don't know how to correct that. I didn't say that. I basically think that my master's is good for any place that wants me to teach in academia. They're looking for your degree, your master's. That's what I'm seeing. So, but to be honest with you, they want you to write 5 different things and 6 pages of what you do. And I have YouTube links. I'm like, you're in the age of YouTube. Stop asking me to write because you're judging me based on my writing skills. I've just written 27 pages. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I did that. Good thing you asked. I can send you a copy of it on Facebook if you're on it.
I can send you a copy. And for some apparent reason, those old professors, they do not want to get with the times. You know what I mean? It's wild.
No, they don't, man. I have a black professor right now. You'll appreciate this, Dojo. I have I don't want to call him an Uncle Tom, but I think you know where I'm going. So basically, this black professor, right? He helped me with queer studies, that class. I wanted that to get the diverse understandings of the feminine energy, especially in the male body, because my thesis is all about Venus and the goddess and gender and how it's very diverse. So this is this guy. He comes from Oxford, right? He's an American black guy. He's into Black Lives Matter and all this stuff, right? And he's teaching LGBTQ, and he also identifies as queer. So he's pretending to be this utopian guy. He's telling the class, well, I'm going to give you all a B, automatic B on your paper. I'm going to give you a B right away. You can't fail. You can't fail. Oh, you're all awesome, right? I go to his syllabus. This is what we call Freemasonry. He has to be a Jesuit. This is what he's done. His syllabus shows you all these books and all these authors, right? I have a syllabus. I know how to write one, okay? You go to the actual online syllabus, which is where you have to go to print it out to then read the stuff. You go to the online syllabus. This is called duality, the blackboard and the whiteboard, the checkerboard, the 2 white and black things, duality. So he has a different author and book in his printed syllabus, all of them different. You go to online, you can't find any matching. So now you're stressing, you're stressing, you're stressing. This guy's saying, oh, I'm all about Black lives and gay power and rights. Yet he's making it hard for us. You see where I'm going? He's making it hard for you to succeed, whether you're gay, white, black, chicken, if you're a chicken McNugget, if you're a rooster, he's making it hard for you regardless. So I asked the class, man, I said, hey class, are you all noticing that the syllabus is not aligning with the online one? And they all said, yeah, but we don't ask no questions. We just do the homework assignment. So you're not learning. You're not actually getting better. The class is supposed to be for transgender people to get closure for themselves. But instead, I'm a confused transgender with a syllabus that is not aligning with my online syllabus. That's not consciousness. I'm trying to find out who I am in life, and you're a teacher saying utopia and Black lives and gay and rights, but you're confusing me. something's not right, right? These secret societies and their little games.
Did you challenge the syllabus?
Oh, I did.
You know what?
My brother.
See, the thing
Oh
is,
yeah.
in academics, when you become an academician and you're a
Ah.
student in college, right? You become the people that you discuss with when you're sitting next to them. Those are your peers. And so when you discuss things with your peers, and it's according to the syllabus, right? The syllabus is an actual binding contract between the professor and the students. I've broken two syllabus, but you have to go to the law. Like certain, okay, when it comes to certain deans,
Mhm.
the dean has to have a certain level of constitutional law and a law degree in their corner. You know what I'm saying? Before them to in order for them to say that they're a dean. See, when you become a professor, right? They allow anybody to be a professor as long as there is a curriculum that attaches to that lesson. So like so you got to watch it because certain professors, they don't even know what the hell they're professing. They're just going off a curriculum that's established. For real,
Yes.
I've unsliced. I got many heads on a panel on a mantle. I'll take you to their gravesite. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. But I'll take you to their classroom and they'll tell you, yes, this guy right here, I made sure to keep a good relationship with everybody when it came to a scholastic ass whooping. Okay? And so all my professors know me. I'll take you to Professor Swisegood right now. He's a gay guy. He's like 60 years old. He's gay, right? He passed the bar exam. He has the chief dean's award, all this, right? And he's the dean. He's been the dean for, no, excuse me, he's been the professor for 20 years for social services when it comes to like people on welfare, people for child support, people under probation, parole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you go to college and you want to work in those fields, you know what I mean? You got to go and take social service classes, like community like classes. And I took some of his classes, and he'll tell you, dude, we went head to head. I took him to the dean and everything. And the dean, and what's so funny about it, it was the same dean that I had bumped heads with my constitutional law professor. You know what I'm saying? She already knew who I was when I came up in there. And the way I did her, my man, it was crazy. Right when I came in there and set my backpack down, right? I looked at her and she's like, Mr. Alexander, right? She's on me. I know who you are. I'm shaking her hand. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I know exactly who you are, right? And so I let them do all the talking. And what came out was I looked at her and said, so let me ask a question. You two have discussed this prior to you two calling me in for all three of us. I mean, she said, yes, we have. That's when I had it. You can't do that. In a court of law, you can't do that. You got to allow the accuser to face that person who's accusing them. You know what I mean? And if you congregate behind closed doors in regards of that person, that's against the law. You can't do that because that's premeditation. That's premeditated, whatever, you know? And so it was just crazy. Thank you. And I have a lot of these professors that I'm still friends with. That's what gives me my energy. I'll go, when a semester starts, I'll go to their class and I'll do like a 15-minute segment and get their class going. A lot of those professors, like my meteorology professor and my psychology professor, her name is Dr. Diaz. She's not doctor. Well, she's a doctor, but she's a PhD. And she's great. She's a great woman, man. And she's been doing this for like 30 years. She has her own private practice and stuff. And she trips out on me, bro. She trips. But I would love for you to come out here and just experience for a couple of days or maybe a week of what my surroundings are. You know what I mean?
I would love to, man. I was just going to ask you. Yeah. Because I know you teach, Yudit actually has been amazing. She's possibly giving me a connection in Israel. So I'm knocking on wood because I mean, my gosh, but I'm still making moves. So my brother, totally. I'd love to come down and, bump heads with you in a positive way and see, 'cause I know that you're into teaching and I like your energy. I relate to what you're very up and you're hungry. You're always going. That's like the way I teach. So my dream to, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Oh, that wasn't me. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something. Yeah, no, you're good. So
take the Israel thing. Yudit has raised me up to be the bright spirit that I am. I put myself
Totally.
on that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
I had
man, she's awesome.
The capability just to travel like I used to, how I was in my 30s, trust when I say the first thing I'd have packed up a whole bunch of whatever I can get on the airplane and been to Israel. And right when I touched
Sure.
down, I'd have told the homies, mail me this. You know what I'm saying? I, I am who I am wherever I am. You know what I mean? And it's just a beautiful thing that if you have the chance and the opportunity to roll that paper up, that diploma that is, or that master's degree, and go out and pursue happiness, man, definitely that's where it's at. My endeavors out here where I'm at, trust, when anybody talks to me, I do my best to try to keep that spirit close to me. That's just that's that protective spirit that I was born with. You know what I mean? You have to protect what you love. You know what I mean? And I always meet a stranger, because I tell people it's easier to trust a stranger than somebody who think they know you. You know what I mean? And it's like, so I'm just like, I'm trying to like really spill my heart out. So what I'm saying is like, yeah, when you got your master's degree, man, just be the master that you are, man. I think you've heard this rap before. I yield.
I have, and I'm going to send you a link. I'm going to send you my Raven project on my website, because it will explain to you what I did before I got to university and how you can get it in the, I don't see a chat, an option to dump it somewhere. So it's okay, whatever. So basically the Raven project, what it is it's designed to go anywhere to empower people who are in underprivileged situations, community centers. I did a little bit in Columbia, South Carolina, Columba the dove. It's a constellation. So I've created the Raven. It's based on Raven Wilkinson, very important ballerina, because she's the first African-American ballerina of the Ballet Russe de Monte Carlo, which gave birth to all the major companies way back in the day. The KKK came to visit her and said, where is the, pardon my language, the N-word ballerina? Looking for her. They walked right by her because she was wearing white makeup and she was light-skinned. Imagine death walks right by you as you're posing in your ballet pose. She still lives today, and she's a being of light. All she cares about is, what are you dancing? And I love, what are you doing? And she's humble, and she knows, Langston Hughes took her out to dinner when she got her contract. That's who we're dealing with, right? History, beautiful woman. So this is the woman who inspired the actual project. So I called it Raven Project after her, because we have a Corvus constellation, which means the raven, and it's a blackbird. And you have the Columba constellation, which is the white dove. How do we have racism? My first question, if the stars are somehow identifying with colors, you might want to look at the stars and yourself and stop hating people. That's the whole point of the ballet. There, and I did it in Columbia, South Carolina, where we still have, of course, your racism and your stupid battles from ancient times. So simple, Raven Project. It's about bringing attention to a ballerina you might not have heard of, but her story is your story, because everyone has gone through adversity. Just because it's someone with a name and went to a company doesn't mean they're more important than your story. So now maybe you can tell, oh, wow, that reminds me of when I was like, I don't know, 12 and a car almost hit me and I moved out of the way, and great, adversity, you overcame it. Tell me your story. That inspires me. Cool. Simple. So everyone who's involved in seeing the project has a personal connection. There's going to be Q&A sessions where they can talk and they can give their ideas about what they're seeing. I like hearing people's thoughts. I like sharing space. I like to have company. I'm a Taurus. I'm very much about helping and sharing. You can ride the bull. You can pet the bull. You can walk with the bull, stare at the bull. You can touch the horn, whatever. I'm that dude. Share it, space. And I want to bring that kind of movement to as many places as I can, So if I can get the right kinds of ears and eyes on what I'm doing, I would love to do that where you are, Dojo. Totally. If you know anyone in your academic world who's interested or might have a dance department, and if you have your ear at all, you might know, hey, that might be something, shoot me a message. I have a car. I'm in Iowa, man. I'll drive to you.
I'm in Iowa. And that to me, in my reality, it's a okay thing. It's a plus. It's a, see, in mathematics, you can still find good and bad in math. Like anything that takes away, to me, I feel like it's a bad thing. Some people say,
Sure.
well, it took that away and that was a bad thing that was for you. I don't mean like that. What I mean is racism is not natural. It was never natural. Racism has always been instilled, right? And it's always been instilled in the household of somebody who is subjectively or who was the suspect of being racist. Racist was never okay. Wait, let me rephrase that. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me think, because
You're good.
I know in science that there is an opposing.
Don't apologize, Dojo. Just go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
Okay, in science, I know that there's, but see, when I discuss racism in science, right, there's a thing called being scientifically racist. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not supposed to use science in this fashion, in this manner, because there is, I mean, even we can learn a lot from everything, even a racist. You know what I'm saying? And even racism has been taken to be a it's an ugly thing, because there's nothing that's beneficial at it. There's no diversity in being racist. We all know that. So it spawns from an household, which spawned from a lineage, or should I say lineages. You know, what you teach your children and they grow up to teach their children, we only become, you know, we have the same mom and dad. We become siblings. Siblings have aunties, uncles, and aunties, uncles give us cousins. And so whatever we've established our bloodline, which is all of our households on, because we get together on holidays, we shoot pistols in the air on the first of the New Year's, on the New Year. You know, this is what causes us to say we all live by the same tradition. Whether if I come from a dysfunctional family, and my cousins is badasses, and my uncle a blood, and my auntie she crippin' though, you know, whether if I start talking like that, or whether if I say I've established my children to be on top of the scholastic mountain and to be the most academician, whatever I decide to say, how this fruit tasted when I give my interpretation is on me, and as well as on you. So those who are hearing us, right, there's a lot to learn from people who love to build. I mean, shout out to the build. There's a lot to learn from people who love to keep building, because when we build like this, the spirits take over. They take over,
Yep.
and you are supposed to be looking for DOJO. You're supposed to be looking for the way that's going to provide you the energy to get you going to that next endeavor. That's what you should be looking for. If you're looking for excitement, entertainment, I'm not the one for you. I don't think Raw's the one for you. We all about telling you what we here to do. I yield the floor.
Yeah. Well, and entertainment can actually wake you up, because what did Mozart's magic flute do with entertainment? Mozart's magic flute would be Ophiuchus's phallic symbol up there in the stars, and hence why your men like to draw little phallic symbols in the bathroom and don't know why they're doing that, because they're speaking to the actual creative energy that gives birth to you from the shape
symbol?
of the phallic symbol. Yeah, the Ophiuchus symbol, obelisk.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Did you know? Have you heard of it? Ophiuchus, the shape, constellation. It makes the obelisk, man. Yeah.
Okay. Teach me that. You say the shape of the constellation, which what I see at nighttime. You say that's a You say what?
Ophiuchus is a constellation near Libra. If you Google it, it's the man with the serpent. It's the serpent tamer, which would probably be Shiva, because Shiva tames the serpent. If you look at a picture of him, you see a serpent around his neck balanced and the head up, because it's taken the lower mind, brought it to the top part, and ascended it. But Ophiuchus is a symbol of Shiva with the serpent controlling lustful energies, right? So when we see this constellation, and we understand that we're all united.
Did you say lustful energies? That's like masturbation, like jacking off energies too.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what, man? I'll be honest with you with that. I don't want to. I personally am not prudish. Okay, I don't want to control anybody, because that's a big issue with me. I don't want to tell anyone you can't do this. But yeah, if you do it too much, you have to do things in moderation. For me, masturbation is loving yourself. It depends on how you see the word. You're mastering. Think about it. You're a master of yourself. So you're loving yourself. It's okay to do it. Just why are you doing it, right? Are you and then you're done, or are you doing it to kind of have a rhythm with yourself or thinking of love? It's cool. But yeah, if you're not balanced, then these symbols go crazy. And then the ejaculation part I'm not trying to be gross, but when we just spew thoughts out and we let anyone lead us, we're in the order of chaos. Hence why your stars are all scattered. Yeah, club means to break into pieces. The club, boom. Who has a sword? Boom. And the drum and the sword and the trident, Shiva, bam. He breaks things and shatters and makes stars, the material god. So we have to know that name. Now, racism came from a scattered idea of chaos. Chaotic demons came up here and scattered us and divided us. Hence your doves or your Davids or your Knights of Columba constellation. Dove, David means to divide. Be careful with your Davids and your stars of David. It's a beautiful yoga symbol, but if it's in the wrong hands of the Pope who likes to be Jesus, let's get into that. Well, I've made many connections with JC. The initials JC. We get Julius Caesar, right? We get Johann Sebastian Bach is JCS Bach. Let me slow it down for y'all. You can definitely wake people up probably faster if you know how to put alchemy in your compositions so you don't decompose and you aren't a poser. So you have JCS Bach, Jesus Christ, Freemasons, taking the title of Jesus. You have J.C. Penney. Now, let's digest that one. Aha, J.C. Penney. What is a penny? A penny would be copper. Who rules copper? I'm gonna let someone else tell me on this panel. I know one of y'all know what divine being rules copper in alchemy.
I don't know about in alchemy, but if I'm not mistaken, I know the copper is with the pineal gland or something like that. I mean, Sabi taught
Venus. Venus rules copper.
Okay.
Venus rules copper. Now listen to this very carefully, because my thesis is exposing this, and it's going to blow people's minds. It's 27 pages of stuff like this. Now, very simple. In the Oxford Dictionary, Lucifer, guess what it means? One sentence. Morning star, Venus. Oh, they messed up. Oh, they messed up there. Now, all I have to do as a truther is now go to the Bible and find where Jesus says, I am the star of David or the root of David and the morning star. Your Jesus is a woman. Hi, beautiful woman in white. Hence your goddesses in India will show you that. But it's a man too. So it's funny. It's complex, but it's clearly Venus, right? So we have not decoded her enough. We don't know anything about her enough. We have to very, very, very much so research the cataclysm, because she did something, because she did it for you. She did it for all of us to wake up and, I believe, fight demons, because she also brought them with her when she created herself. Athena means I came from myself. So who was born of a virgin? Virgo. Who is Virgo? V. C'est la vie en français. It's Venus. Enos, us. United States is us, is Veen, us. So, J.C. Penney, Jesus Christ and Venus. When you go shopping, when you go to J.C. Penney, it's a ritual. Racism is a ritual. It's a covert operation that was started by an entertainer called Jim Crow. He had a song. Forget the guy's name. Google this guy. He had a song. Listen to this. He went all over the world in blackface and did this song called Jump Jim Crow. Now, this is just an artist. This is just a singer and a dancer who had to choreograph like I do. Now we get into something very interesting about your arts and entertainment and how powerful they really are. When this man sang Jim Crow, obviously he checked out his druids. The druids had what are called the minstrels. Minstrel show? Right. It wasn't necessarily intended to be a bad thing. Blackface or black is the original color of all colors and gives birth to all colors. We know this. That's it. People are dumb if they disagree with that. Just let it go. It's all dirt, brown, black. That's who you are. So blackface. We go to the druids. We have 3 levels to their caste. There's the druids, there's the ovates, and the minstrels. Your Brahma, your Vishnu, your Shiva. Your father, your Holy Spirit and the Son. So now, when we look at the minstrel, what were they doing in the Druid times with the idea of the minstrels? They were bards, they were poets, they were singers, and they were dancers. And we are dancers. Now, here's where you'll all understand the most powerful ritual that any one of you could ever master is the arts. You have to get into your art. Everyone's an artist. Our Father, who art in heaven. Hence your minstrels were dancing and doing comedy in Ireland. Then Rome came and killed them all and took their druid stick, and you see Jesus with what? Sticks, woods, beautiful long hair. What do the Irish people look like? Go look at the mythology, all the wizards. Look at them. They're all long hair, beautiful women, gorgeous. Where does white Jesus come from? Where did this beautiful blonde, blue-eyed thing come from? It came from art, dancing, music, comedy, and poetry. Of course it did. And it came from blackface. And so when they were dancing and doing comedy, it's a vibration, and then a result manifests, and then you see what happens with your own power. Now, Jim Crow gets it. Now we take this druid culture, which is beautiful. They also had some dark things too, but we'll go with the positive. We take the minstrel concept, I think you see where I'm going, and we invert it now. Inverted is the land of who? Satan, Saturn, Capricorn. You're on a sagittal plane and a coronal plane, Chronos. You're being ruled by Capricorns, people. The realm of Capricorn is ruling you. So you have to understand when you're walking, who is guiding you? Who is watching you when you're naughty or nice? Saturn. He's watching you take a turn for the worst, maybe. Ooh, or to take turns on hurting someone, or I'll take a turn in loving you. That's Saturn. We're in control of taking these symbols, these white things and black things. We have the control to decode it with our own artistic talent. Talent comes from talon, the feet of the bird, the phoenix rising. Everything comes from your foot age. Say it again, slow it down. Your foot age, the footage. Whoa, we're in the age of the foot because it's the soul, and Pisces is the feet. And we just went from Pisces and now we're into Aries, and we're going back through the water goddess to truth again. But we're drowning because we are being attacked by sea monsters like Typhon, which Venus defeated. Now, why did Venus defeat the Typhon serpent in the water? Why did Venus do that? Because Venus understands water and she has to maintain and tame it. She has to be in control because she has the fluids to give birth to help us all flow. So these battles in mythology will help us to let go of the racism that we're seeing today. Everyone's running, racing each other. You have ace in race. What's the ace card? The ace card, and when you're playing poker, Pokemon, okay, ka, ko, Egyptian soul. When you're playing with your Egyptian soul poker, ka, your ace, boom, we have ace forms in university. Ace forms. Ace card's very important, isn't it? The shape, the symbol, boom, why? Race, ace, put it together, it's a unique energy of power. Why are the deck of cards different colors? And we have racism. You have red, you have black, you have different colors, different patterns in your damn cards, right? No one talks about the yellows and the other colors in those cards. Uno, for God's sake. Uno is Juno. Who is Juno? Jupiter, who has feminine moons. Juno or Judo. That's your Jesus Christ, who's white, who's black, who's yellow, who's red, who's purple. He's a serpent. He's a wolf. You know, that's what we are. We have the ability to be more than one thing. We're not just one thing. We're supposed to master many things. In the Bhagavad Gita, we're supposed to master many things. We should learn every art. I haven't learned enough, apparently, to really be balanced. It's okay. So who is this J.C. Penney? Yeah? who's nickel-ing diming me, right? I wonder who that is. So when you go and you buy your corporate money, or you go buy your corporate stuff, you're walking into a corpse. You're walking into your body. Why, when I go to Arby's, they have a phallic symbol, obelisk, shape at Arby's, and they have that phallic symbol Arby's with the so-called cowboy hat. When you walk into Arby's, you're walking into an obelisk. I've seen them in Iowa, Arby's chain, food chain. You walk in there. Now, as I'm walking into a phallic symbol, look at my body. As I walk into that, I've entered and put something on me. Let me go over this again. This is very simple. This is how these people work with rituals. Here's the shape. It's very simple. I'm making a choice. I don't have to do this. I put myself in it. Now, what does that mean when you enter something that has a certain geometric shape, has a certain electric magnetic structure? Why do churches have crucifixes on top of them with little rods on them? You know you've seen those little, look at your crucifixes on top of the church. And they all have pyramids, and they have your cross, and on the cross they have little rods. Oopsie, someone knows something. Would that be you tapping into the ether or possibly the invisible angles of the stars because you actually do believe in astrology and you're doing it very quietly with your rods on your crucifix? The fixed signs will fix the two broken poles. Parallel plane, the equal sign makes the Nordic cross, which equals you. Don't let someone make you bipolar and put your cross into two poles and divide you away. We're supposed to come to this and swell into the material world of 6 points is this body. You're supposed to form into consciousness. You aren't supposed to form into a chapel that's forcing you to go into its body of materialism. That's heavy. The fixed signs have to be here to fix something. Taurus is a fixed sign, I believe. I think Virgo or Leo is a fixed sign. Leo, I believe, yeah. Then you have Scorpio fixed, and I believe, was it Aquarius fixed sign? Or is it Pisces? Probably Pisces. Either way, there's fixed signs. What are they fixing? What are they doing? Why are they there? Interesting. Looks like Karen might want to say.
I'm mutable. Gemini.
You're mutable.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You are the ending and the starting of a new beginning. You know, Jachin and Boaz are twin.
Certain signs are fixed. Or, yeah. There's another one as well, isn't there? Cardinal.
Yep. Yes, it's cardinal, fixed, immutable. Good, Karen. Yeah. Opening. Cardinal means to open. Hence you have cardiovascular. You have fixed. Now you're inside and you're enjoying the ride. You're in it. You're fixing yourself in it. You're living. And then when it's mutable, it dies, it ends, and then it starts again with who? Gemini passes to Cancer. Cancer passes to Leo. Leo passes to... Why are they doing that? If I'm here to die from GMOs, your stars don't know what GMOs are. They have the ingredients to do those things and destroy stuff, but they don't understand that. So we have to understand our stars. I mean, we're all celebrities. That's another thing. The vicars of God, the Jesus Christ made racism what it is. Santa Claus, Coca-Cola, Saint Nick, the white guy with the red hat, and that's Mithra, with your Phrygian cap of Mithra. I showed Artez that. It's a red cap. Papa Smurf wears it. Santa Claus wears it. It's on your U.S. Senate sale. What is that red cap? And why do the French Freemasons wear it during the French Revolution? The revolution. Guess who Circe is known to be? Or let me say Cybele. Cybele is known to be the ruler of motion, of revolution. Cybele, the builder of towers, let me say this to you again, women, is the one who is responsible for the revolution or things that go round. I have that written in my thesis for you. Chat room for you. Women and men, it's for you. We need to be clear with what the women really mean before we ask them out on dates. You might eat them, a date. No. Slow down. I know it's hot, it's tasty. That's the trick. That's why we think on impulse. Our lower chakras are always being ding, 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 ding. White Jesus. Islam is this. Jews do this. Gay people say this. Black people have big this and they can jump high. White people are that. Indians, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? This is insane. So as opposed to finding what makes me unique, you're trying to get me to associate. Pawns means bridge of asses in your brain. The donkeys, the Taurus fields. You want me to associate my Taurus field with someone else and not my own. That's what Jim Crow wanted us to do. Jim Crow is the Corvus constellation, by the way. That crow is the bird of Saturn. It's the birds of Apollo, ravens. Ravens. Where else are ravens existing? Who's the god Odin, and why did Odin have two ravens known as Hugin and Munin? You know what they mean? Thought and memory. Where do you think from, and what do you have memory in? Those two ravens, it's awesome. The two hemispheres of your brain. And you're supposed to fly. Racism won't let us do that. Racism likes us to run in circles. It's pretty crazy. Sun and the moon, for God's sake. The title of this panel. The moon is silver. The moon is silver and the sun is damn yellow. Are they up there like, oh, that moon is way too silver for me. Oh, that sun, oh, that moon believes in Muhammad, and that sun is.
We've talked about this before, haven't we? Where they've turned everybody against each other. They just found the way to do it.
Yes, you have an ulna bone, people. Look at your body. It's really cool. No, I'm not kidding now. You have an ulna bone. Ulna is U-L-N-A. It is Luna. You have a moon bone in your body. Google that. That's you. That's you. You're not a damn Darwin pitting people against each other, comparing the blacks to the monkeys. Of course, the black people are the apes and gorillas and raw, angry black. And whenever they cast me in a ballet, I was Tybalt. I was the bad guy in black because I'm black and I'm the color of Saturn. And they thought that was the way you should do it. And nothing personal. I mean, I'm a good actor, but there's more to me than being angry. And anyone or anybody, no one should be typecasted. That's painful when you're typecasted and you're trying to do something different and you want to evolve. But like Dojo was saying, you got to keep people close to you who have power, somehow trying to find a way to not play the game, but like sort of, Freemasons like to dress up and drag and pretend to be things. You know where transvestite came from? Chevalier Dion. He was a French man who was exiled from France, I believe. He came back as a woman and became a legend. It's Freemasons. What they do? Drag queens. What's a drag on? Draco constellation, people. Hence your rapper Drake. These are dragons. What do dragons do? Research. There's way more going on in that. What are symbols of dragons? What are they? Go ahead, man. Who's someone talking?
No, I'm loving the spiel. I was writing notes and I was talking to one of my
Oh,
neighbors,
word.
man. But I'm loving the spiel because I got a lot of stuff to research. I didn't know half of the stuff that you was talking about. But the dragon stuff like that, I'm real big on the dragons too. But carry on though, as you were. Please carry on.
Yes, sir. Of course, man. Yeah. You have dragons and symbols of Draco and the stars. What they're doing. Pleiades means to sail. Let's go back to the Pleiades constellation. This will help a lot of you understand astrology simply. If you cuss like a sailor, Venus rules the Pleiades, and in Greek it means to sail. You are sailing with Venus. You have a cartoon, the Japanese, the people of J-A, Jehovah, Jupiter, etymology, same word. In Japan, they made a cartoon called Sailor, listen to me, Moon. Your Japanese people are the people of the sun. They know their astrology. That's a cartoon that's telling you it's about the goddesses who sail in the universe. Your Navy people, your Army people, y'all need to get into your symbols. You're not worshiping your lieutenant or your captains or your dictators. You're actually worshiping the Pleiades. Sailors. Interesting. And they're called sisters. Catholic Church are called sisters. Those are your sisters, your stars. Your sitar. Sitar means star. So I'm playing my guitar or my sitar, and somehow I'm playing with an instrument, hence Mozart's magic flute. I'm bringing it all back together. Or Jim Crow. Where do crows go? They fly up. But this crow wants you to fly down. Now ask yourself, why is there an inverted cross of Saint Peter? I'm going to say it again. Why is there an inverted cross of Saint Peter? Why is there an inverted pentagram for Superman, Mr. Red and Blue, Red Bull, Blue Bull? I will tell you why. This is what I'm thinking. In every movie, there's a villain and there's aliens and creatures and demons and bad things and women that betray them and the men betray them. And what is all that about? There's always an element in every movie. It's a clear adversary. The set to your Horus, the night to your day. Why? There has to be more going on in each dimensions of the earth with entities that when they came up here, they lost where they were. They saw us and they were like, oh, I want that. Very simple. They have free will. They have different kinds of brains. They have chakras. We don't have that. They can ascend. They can meditate. They can make things levitate. They can build pyramids. They can ring bells and lift things. They can make awesome food. They can dance. They can sing. I hate them. That's what this is about. These people who travel, they weren't people, pardon me. These Eeple, I'll call them Eeple, that traveled the world, followed the stars, the navigations, the Navajo. Nave means 9 in Hindu. They were following the 9. Your 9 makes your Fibonacci spiral. So what is your Christopher Columbus doing? He's pretending to be a damn comet or an orb that's spiraling and traveling to find out what makes you tick. Goes to Haiti, boom. Goes to anywhere, native, and looks at it and studies the pattern and takes it and then makes Jim Crow. Ask yourself a question. What is the biggest problem maybe in history for us as a human race? Well, it's people coming to visit unannounced, watching what you do, and they still exist today. Could be your friend, and they're watching you, and they're copying you, and they take your stuff, and they flip it. Everyone's had a friend who's betrayed them and did this to them, took your idea or cheated on you or took your girlfriend, whatever, or your boyfriend, or hurt you or talked behind your back. And you thought you knew them for years. Where'd that come from? That's not how families should be. You know what a constellation means? A house. You're moving into something. It's a house up there. Pharaoh means big house. You are a pharaoh. You have to contain your house. Who's in your house? Or your mouse? God. Every rodent is a part of your now you're killing rodents, you're killing insects, you're killing a reflection of yourself. You think God is white. You think hip hop should be gangster and you should slap women around and make money and go get a car and just crash into a wall and kill your brother and sister. Or you think you should just rock it out and overdose. It's cool, have all the girls, but you're depressed. You have all these children. You don't pay child support, but you're really good in bed. But you're so talented, everyone seems to like you. But you're a horrible person. Why? Simple. Infiltration. Your pelvis means a container. Do containers have a top? Well, who's unscrewing our top and letting people come into our heads? This is what they're doing every day, y'all. And if you don't know your astrology, this is how it works. Satanic energy is serpentine. It does this. It's making figure eights. It's working with you, whether you like it or not. Nano particles, nanu, Mork and Mindy. Let me say it again. Nano, nanu. Nun, Hebrew, the goddess. It means fish. Who are they poisoning us with? India comes from Indus, for river. You sweat water, you are a river. You have the deltoid bone. Deltoid and delta is the same word. I keep saying this when they walk on the earth and when these men infiltrated and they traveled and they saw beautiful people like us doing what they did, they stole it. That's power. We don't understand that we have power. Someone stole something from us. Well, we have to get it back. It's called dancing. You're a dancer. Don't say you don't dance because your ancestors did it and it's in your blood. If you're Irish, the Irish have the jig. And river dance, I can't do that stuff. That's incredible. River dance, you kidding me? The Asians, Tai Chi, China, beautiful. Japanese, Kabuki. Why? Right? Something's happening here. So your ancestors danced for you to do it. They weren't thinking about being on the beat necessarily, being perfectly, having my core training. They teach me here, you have to say kinesiology. Tell them it's a kinesthetic approach in your papers to get a job. Why does kinesthetic matter? They call it a kinesphere. You know what kinesphere is? They don't even know this stuff. Kine of the sphere of the kine. Kine is the cow. The cow is Taurus. We are the kinesphere. They don't teach that. They tell you it's a technique. Give me your money. Now you've learned your kinesphere. When you're living in it, wow. Hustle and flow. New day. Why I teach the way I teach? You can't waste time. Facts got to be spit. Give them the body parts. Define the body parts. Tell them they have the cuboid in their foot. How can Earth be a ball when in geometry, you damn scientists, it's called a cube? Urgh. Why is Eurydice in the opera Orfeo? Dices are cubes, and it's Mother Earth. Oh, I'm a very smart monkey. We're all smart monkeys. We're not monkeys. Those are our brothers and sisters. But we're in the planet of the applications, applying ourselves. You know what the word plie means in ballet? Go ahead, man.
Hey, you said your brothers and sisters are monkeys? I don't.
Yeah, our
You just figured it, I mean, that's just a figure of speech. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that animals are our brothers and sisters.
I mean, you
Monkeys, chickens, goats, all of them. No, I don't believe. I'm not saying evolution. I'm saying that they are related to us in terms of they have a body, they have a consciousness. We are not monkeys, but I'm saying that they are definitely related to us. We're connected to all things. We just haven't been shown the proper way of how we relate to these things. We've been compared to them. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, we've been compared to them. So you're comparing when you say they're your brothers and sisters. What you're saying?
Yeah, I'm seeing them as family. I'm not seeing them as competitors. I'm not seeing them as they're their own unique thing, and I'm my own unique thing, but we're connected.
For me, seeing them as animals, does that make me is that me looking at them competitively?
I wouldn't say that, no.
Okay.
No, I mean, animal is just a word. Animal. Go ahead.
I'm not going to end up calling any animal a brother and sister. You know what I mean? I'll defend the animal. Fair. I mean, but I was just curious because I know a lot of people who take animals to where the animals are like really like kindred spirits and stuff. So, you know,
okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. If that's how you feel, that's cool. Yeah. No. I mean, I personally love animals. Like, for example, and I got to run to teach quickly, but I'll tell you this. I went vegetarian or vegan, what you want to call it. I don't eat any meats really, but when I saw a squirrel on the street dead, I thought about a book that I read about how everything in nature needs to be put onto nature, whether it's a human body or an animal. And I'll tell you how this relates to how your animals are your brother and sister, Dojo, because this will help you understand. The Hermetic wisdom especially talks about the 7 rays of the sun and they're atomic. They each have an energy. The 6th ray is the animal. The 7th ray is the human body. I'm going to say it again. In the Bible, there are these 6 days, and the 7th day they rested. Shiva, Saturn. Saturn made your body. He's the material god, and she. The 6th ray was reserved for the animal consciousness, which is very close to your 7th ray, the human being. They are very close to us. Why the Hindus don't eat meat? Why the Egyptians say you cannot ascend to the heavens if you eat meat. And I am not judging anyone who eats meat, by the way. I used to eat it. This is not judgment. This is fact. They say your temple has to be clean. You have body parts that are named after animals. Your hamstring is a pig. Your pigment, hence pygmalion, is a pig that's in your body. Pigs are wise. You have a lambdoid in your skull. A lamb is an animal. You have a cerebrum. Ram is an animal, right? You have a Crista Galli on your skull, Dojo, which means a rooster is in your skull in Latin. So where I'm going is this. Your brain also means a flower. So we're very diverse. We are literally a Swiss Army knife. Everything outside Dojo is, this is my humble opinion, is your family, man. Even the bad stuff, because we have demons. When you hurt yourself, your body's not going to say, oh, you're a good guy, Dojo or Jay. I'm not going to swell. It's going to swell no matter what. That's Satanism. It's called manipulating your ether. Oh, no. What do we do to get rid of it? Are we icing it and talking about, okay, nature and how we relate to it? Or are we just pounding upon the swelling and killing your brother because you think it's survival of the fittest and Darwinism and wrong. Oh my God, wrong. Every cow you have out there, Dojo, is a Taurus field. If I'm a Taurus, that cow is my family. Not only is it my family, it's a consciousness that flows with me. Why do the East Indians drink the urine of a cow? It's a sacred animal, man. No bull. So I challenge you, man, to just look up Hermetic wisdom in the animals and look at how close they are to the human. And in actuality, all of your gods, all your male gods in mythology, they ride what? A bull. All of them ride a bull. Every culture, China, Germany, whatever, Vietnam. Why is this a horned thing? In Ireland, it was Herne. Herne is a deer god with horns. Animals. They are your family. They're deities. They're sentient beings. Defend them, great. But I would look at that animal and say, wow, I have a hamstring for a reason. Yeah, I have horse power because I'm on a sagittal plane. This is how you know that animals are your family, Dojo. Sagittal would be Sagittarius, which is half man and half horse. Now, if I have a half body, human, and animal, does that not mean that somehow we're possibly related in astrology? Yeah.
Yeah, if I take it literal, if I accept according to any astrology, if okay, the way I see it, from my perspective, according to any type of information, regardless of if it's the astrology written by this man or this woman, or written on this stone or whether this papyrus, it doesn't matter to me. When you say that the astrology is taught through pictogram or symbolism, when I'm looking at a symbol or a pictogram and it shows what do you call it, a centaur or a half man, half bull body, or it shows somebody half and half like that, it don't resonate with my perception to think that I am related, you know what I'm saying, to that animal in that sense. Now I can understand if energetically I can be, well, you know what? I can't even understand it that way neither. What I'm saying is, that's why I can learn a lot from you, because it's like me, I deal with perception and 5 senses. You know what I'm saying? And health information. So when I say 5 senses, I know one thing's a fact that we all cannot neglect is, according to a disease or a pathogen, what we are taught, that we don't need to be taught this. We know that our eyes, ears, nose, and mouth are the only way to get sick. And so the only way our eyes, ears, nose, and mouth get sick is because the 5th perception, which is our 5th sense, is our hands. And so they teach you, keep your hands clean, keep your hands out of your ears, keep your hands out of your face, because your hands is your 5th perception. And when your hands is up to no good, then your eyes, ears, nose, and mouth is infected, regardless of your temple, regardless if the temple is infected. When your hands is infected, the temple becomes infected next, because they say, keep your hands out of your eyes, ears, nose, and mouth. That's the only way you become infected, you know? And so when I look at that and I tell myself that is to be true, I know one thing else to be true is the only way somebody can be affected is by paying attention. That is the 6th sense to me. When someone pays attention by something that is defected, they can become infected. Okay. And so
Mm.
that has nothing to do with me using my hands. That has nothing to do with my hands you know what I mean, dealing because one thing I love about dojo, like kung fu and stuff like that, is that the great Bruce Lee would be like water, you know. And the reason why he says that is because when the mind isn't tethered to a center, when it's natural and it's naturally and it has no form or and it's free, it can move like it can move in limits and without no center. But at the same time, though, that water part, right, where it comes from, when you are completely aware that there is no space for conception or a scheme or the opponent or even yourself, then we see that there's only complete abandonment. That's what it means to be like water. When there's no room for ideology, when there's no room for nothing else. I love everything you teach because I don't know anything of it. I just know that there's no room other than comfort when the mind is tethered to a center. It's not really natural. It's the
Sure.
spontaneous combustion that they call the Big Bang Theory, but it's really the spontaneous combustion of will you really care for that squirrel that you seen ran over, or will you slap that motherfucker on a skillet and eat it? You know what I mean? My thing is this: is comfort. Comfort to me
Yep.
is the wheel that revolve around a tight motherfucking axle. It revolves real slow because the axle is what's most important.
Mm.
I just
Good one.
feel that time is never against us or for us. Time is built to do what time do. I yield the floor.
Beautiful. Wow. You know what? I actually have to run in 5 minutes. I'm going to say this last thing before I go. I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you, Dojo, for that beautiful, the axe. Well, the axis or the axle or axe. Who has the axe? These warriors, gods, Thor, Shiva, swords. Why? So I'm going to give you another metaphor for animals so you can understand that what I'm saying, I'm not saying this, Dojo. I hear what you're saying about animals and I get it. I do respect what you're saying. I'm speaking on a spiritual, metaphorical energy. You hear me now? Animals in astrology are symbols of energy. We know that right away. Why is there a Cygnus constellation, which means the swan? Once again, it's a swan is an animal. Corvus is the raven. The dove, Columba, is a constellation, is a bird. Now, why does zodiac mean the ring of animals? The ring of creatures. What I'm saying is this. We have to understand what an animal is. There's an animalistic nature, of course. We run crazy and just do stuff not as humans do. Animals do as animals do. Humans should be doing something higher up. Animals are on one level. They don't have free will. Humans have free will. That's why we have this beautiful ability to do great things. We were the last creation. We were the next thing after the animal. Once again, the sixth ray is the
That's
animal.
where it's at. I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I
You're
have
good.
to retort. I definitely have to retort so I can make sure that you leave with something on your mind. Right?
Sure, go ahead.
That's where the glitch is. That's where the glitch. In my
Why is that?
in my
Tell me
in
why.
my faith in my faith of life in my
Yeah.
walk in my walk until my breath is pretty much no more, right? I know one
Sure.
thing's for sure. You know what I'm saying? That's in my faith. I know one thing's for sure. Is that
Can I ask you? Why you're saying it's a glitch? Because this is what I'm doing. I'm showing the chakras.
No, you said the human came last. Is that what you said?
In creation, we're the final one.
Okay. There it is. I'm trying to identify the glitch. You said the
Okay,
human
go
came
ahead.
last. The human came last.
Last as the final? Sure. That's my understanding in terms
That's
of
what I'm
creation.
saying, my
Go ahead.
man. That's what I'm saying, my brother. No, that's not in my faith that the human did not come last. The human was very first. We are all of the creations. That's why everything has a portion of us when it comes to carbon. When it comes to carbon or when it comes to phosphate, it's because human beings was the very first thing before the sun, the moon, and everything else that you can imagine. Humans are the totality of what the creation is. You know what I'm saying? Everything else that's involved in our reality is a portion of what all is. All is human. Now what describes us human? What's God? What's our creator? That I'll leave up to you. But when it comes to everything, and I do mean from the air you breathe, you came first when it comes to the creation story. It always started with the human, and it's going to end with the human. There is nothing that came before the human. That's why when
Okay.
it comes to
I think you're misunderstanding me. I hear what you're saying, but you're misunderstanding me. No, I got you. Let me go back and explain to you what I'm saying. I'm not saying that humans were last in terms of
you said the
we
humans
were just
last in
something
terms
that
of
was made up
creation.
last, and that's it. What I'm saying is,
wrong, bro. I didn't hear you wrong. You said that humans were last according to creation, according to what you believe. That is fine.
what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying in terms of the principles, it's energies. There's 7. Hold on. Wait. Let me just dance on what we're saying here. You're saying to me that right away, the first thing is a body. It's a human body, right? You're saying the human was first. What I'm saying is Krishna, who blows bubbles or air and creates formations, formed these bodies first. That's Krishna, the breather, air.
Why is
ether.
Krishna depicted blue? Why is Krishna blue?
Because the sky's water.
No, Krishna's blue because he is not breathing oxygen. He's not real. He's a spirit.
Okay, fine, great. Spirit means breath. I agree with you.
Okay, but you're still depicting things from an image. I don't get down like that. I'm trying to tell you that.
That's okay. You should though. I'll tell you. It'll help you.
Teach me how. You have to.
I'll tell you. Okay. All right. That's cool. I totally hear you. I got you.
How you get down.
I got you. No, I hear you. I totally.
Teach me how.
We're on the same. You and I are actually saying similar things. We're just having different ways of seesawing it. I get what you're saying. I read a book. It's called Thomas H. Burgoyne's Light of Egypt that was recommended by Santos. Okay? And in this book, he explains the chakra system and the 7 levels. There's many different understandings of 7s. There's 7 below and 7 up, negative and positives. Hence your 7-up drink. What I'm saying is this, in terms of the creators and what they do and why it's art in heaven. It's a process. Like the earth has other discs and realms and dimensions. We know this, that go down and up, and they spiral in different dimensions, spiraling with metaphors. What I'm saying is the human is the most ultimate, beautiful creation of all the elements, all of it. So nature, beautiful, boom, air, decoration, all these things, boom, 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 boom. What I'm saying is there was a process that it took to get this gorgeous human balanced with copper in the brain, Venus ruled. It took time. I'll tell you why the body is slowly being upgraded. When Venus destroyed the earth thousands of years ago in the cataclysm, I'm going to ask you a question. Venus rules copper. You have to know your planets or your orbs, pardon me. She rules copper. Why is it after, boom, she's doing her thing, the human brain then has this copper? Your sperm has phosphorus. Phosphorus means the morning star. What I'm saying, my brother, metaphorically, what you're saying is beautiful. I'm riding with you. You can say things, all things are a body. Human is a consciousness, totally. In terms of the physical decoration, the material beauty that we are, the illusion, that took time to build. The head, the arms, the copper, it was a process of perfecting, hence why a painter takes time. Every day, adding one more color. In my opinion, this is how I see these 7 rays, these levels. So I'm not putting the human last first. I guess, okay, I said it in that respect. What I'm saying is we are the final, beautiful blending of everything. But it took time to build this. That's why we're unique. And we have to protect it because it took time to perfect things. Hence, the universe was constantly fighting. Jupiter and Saturn had a fight. Why? Why did Saturn replace Jupiter and did this dance and change consciousness? Why, right? There's something happening up there with them, right? This is what I mean. They're working together to create a result. Why we have alchemy. Why is it Moses had his bronze staff? It was a serpent, a bronze serpent staff. Bronze is Jupiter for tin. Venus is copper, comes together and it makes bronze. Metaphorically, I'm not saying literally like there was a Moses person and he did that. No, it's interracial dating maybe. It's, I don't know, maybe you see a stone and the stone has another element in it, another color, another part of a stone holding on to it. These are processes. We're always creating and trying to get to a place of perfection, and the human being is the seventh ray. That's how I see it. I'm not saying that we're lesser or not important at all. I'm saying that we are very precious, but I have to run and teach babies now and hopefully illuminate them. But I hope that made a little more sense. And one more thing, Dojo, Aravata means elephant of the clouds. Your elephants are symbols of the hemispheres of your brain because they have two beautiful big ears and they move slow like the wind, baby. And they carry you. Aravata. Why? Why animal metaphors? That's your breath, Dojo. You're breathing with L, electricity. You see what I'm saying? That's processes, words being put together. The E and the L makes electricity. You have to have a body, but it took time to make that word, Dojo. It takes time to make the letter A. The letter A has two sides and then a line. You can't just go like that right away. Now I have this, now I have that. It's very simple. The human being is that. We are the final And we have demons up here that don't like that, and they want us to be monkeys or whatever the hell and go back somewhere else and be slaves all day. So I leave it open, and before I go, I want to ask Dojo, did that make any more sense to you, or are you still, it's cool, it's cool either way.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool either way because I'm not confused. That's not what the
No, with what I was saying. I'm asking
yeah,
what I was
I
saying.
agree with what you say, and the beautiful thing about these panels, I can always rewind them back and listen to them when I'm not on them. But I want you to have a pleasant day, brother. I really do.
Thank you, man.
And
You are great, man.
You are great.
Can we all say we are dancers before I go?
Thanks, Jay. Yep. Let's do it then.
And thank you. Hey, listen, I want to say a big thanks to Karen because Karen made another video for me. She stays up all night, tired. She works her butt off. Did a great video showing chemtrails. She's putting her neck out for us. So a lot of respect for what she's doing. The panel, thank you, Karen. I want to say thank you.
Same back at you. You're doing it in a different way. That's all. We're all doing our bit.
So,
but thank you, Jay.
On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. We
are dancers. Thank you, Jay. Love you lots.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Dojo and Artez and Kung Fu, Patricia, Yudit.
I'll see you, Raw.
See you later,
All right.
Jay.
Bye.
Bye, Jay.
Much love, chat room.
Bye, darling. He's out teaching. Dojo, he's sort of someone who's understood that a ballet carries astrology, so he's like a Santos of ballet.
Yeah, that's the thing. See Santos, Jay, Brother Sanchez, Brother Panic, sometimes more than usual. You know, Brother Young Pharaoh. A lot of these brothers, they deal with the occultic symbolism of science, the geometry, the like I said, the animal nature. I'm not cut from that cloth, but it does not mean that our lanes intercept. That's not what it means. So shout out to the brother Jay. You know what I mean? I have much to learn from you, brother, but you know what I'm saying? This belt that I wear around my waist is actually fit in a different lane. You know what I'm saying? But I love it when I see diversity because that's where I can learn new elements and new things from. As you were saying, Karen, you was going to say some things.
Oh, no, I was listening to you then, but we only learn through listening, don't we? And I mean, sometimes on this panel, people have got their stuff forward, and you just go, "Oh my goodness," because there's another concept you'd never even thought of. And like you say, when you think you know things, you don't know very much at all.
Yeah, people are dealing with counter time. You know what I'm saying? Time is everything. Time is precious. Time is dreaded. You know what I mean? Some people are behind bars and they dread the time, or some people are in dreadful relationships. They just dread the time, or some people just love the time. We're dealing with counter time, and the answer is to, I guess the answer is to learn from the time that we put in. because we cannot take it back. We're not gonna get it back. We can't erase it. Obviously, this stuff is being recorded live and things like that. My brother Jay has a lot to. My brother Jay is a school within himself, and I admire that. You know, I'm sure he can teach tribes how to fashion themselves accordingly. You know, although dojo is here I am. This is what I do.
The thing about both of you that's very similar is that you both love children.
Oh yes, because we both know
You
the
know,
same thing. We know it's about the blood. It's about the bloodline. When God said, you know, to Cain, "Where's his brother?" and Cain was like, "Oh, am I my brother's keeper?" You know, it's not the vanity of how he said it. It's what God said next. You know, I can hear your brother's blood on the ground crying out to me. And so, no matter what, as an alchemist, I'm a bioalchemist to be exact. You know, your blood is your bacteria. It's not a DNA. I will debate anybody on that. Show me a picture of a double helix. Show me an authentic picture of a double helix. You will never, ever get a picture of the globe, just like you will never, ever get a picture of a double helix because you are a bacteria. Your immunity, your existence came from a darkness. But that temperature, when that temperature was brought to us, that's the light. Light brings temperature. No matter what, I have some things to display. And I was really gonna go all ape shit, like batshit crazy, and just like, oh, look at this, look at that. Right? I was gonna do that this segment, but it but I didn't. I didn't. I have to learn to not seem like everybody is taught to like they always want to oppose the opposite. I don't want to do that. I don't, you know what I mean? I don't even got my camera on and shit. I'm just sitting here in my garage, and usually I'm like, I'm more comfortable. You know what I mean? I don't want it to appear that okay, Dojo got his feathers ruffled because of Jay. No. I just don't understand people like Jay Sanchez, um, 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 uh, uh, Santos, because I wasn't taught that way. So that means that I'm up for learning. These are great teachers of mine. So when people see Dojo dick riding or something, I'm not dick riding. I'm giving that man his utmost respect because he knows something that I don't know. I guarantee you one thing, Dojo knows some shit he don't know. I know that. I know that. This is called being a man with an ego. I yield the floor.
I think most of us didn't grow up with stuff like Santos, Jay. We've been programmed a completely different way. And even when yes, that's the thing. I think a lot of people sort of in this, what you want to call it, flat earth movement, they think they're flat earthers, but they're not. Because if you were, your consciousness changes and there isn't all this me against them and I'm right and you're wrong. We're at the stage where we're at the stage where we because we need something like NASA on our side. They're not there at the moment. So right now we're left with discussion, aren't we? And learning and growing.
We just need fairness. If people would just stop, it would just stop and stop with okay, the way I cured my son just in days, and it was really easy. When you are laying down, when you have your torus field and it's laying parallel, you're laying down with your torus field, which I call your solar plex, which Jay would call your torus field. It would be flat. There's no energy generating in the space around you, which I consider the environment, right? There's no, your body, and your body is the energy of your body is like our body is where oh my God, I can tell you things and you wouldn't believe me. You know what I'm saying? You would not believe me. Okay. And so what I'm saying is that even when you're laying flat, like it said in the great gospel, you know, how Jesus was able to he was able to heal that man that was the soldier of that one Roman without even going there, because that Roman's faith was so strong in who Jesus was that Jesus was like, that he's healed. And right when Jesus thought for him to be healed, that man was walking 24 hours later. That shit can sound like a miracle to you, but that shit sounds obvious to me. You know what I'm saying? I deal with things like this. I deal with bedridden people who don't know about animals with donkey asses or don't know about why the monkey was set on 12:30 p.m. We don't know why Japan worship rats. We don't know these things. What we know is the homie took a bullet or his baby mama was stabbed in a gunfight. What we do know is that this baby hasn't eaten or that child is being neglected. You can tell by the way they look at school. What we do know is this child is on medication. That child is being overdosed with prescriptions the way they look at school. These are the things Dojo have to deal with. I don't have to deal with who think I'm popular or Dojo got too much ego. They can think
Yeah.
what they want to think. I yield the floor.
Yeah, Jojo, I like to say something to you. You speak about the neighborhood. Um, and today, it's so strong to say this, that we should be good to the neighborhood. Today, I was in another town, and my neighborhood called me, and all my neighborhood have my phone call because we need each other. So it's good if we have each other phone if we want to, uh, say something or give a message. So we have the phone. So she called me and she asked me if I'm home. So I tell her, no, I'm not home. I'm in another town. But if it's if it's an emergency, tell me. She said, no, no, I I make myself like as a clown, and I want to make you, I want to come to you and make you smile. So you see, you speak about the neighborhood, and it remind me this. That I was thinking maybe she need help, and no, she want to make me laugh. She want to come to me and make me laugh. So yeah, it's very strong.
There is a cancer in all neighborhoods, just like there is an immunity to each and every organ within inside a human being. We are taught that immunity ourselves, being good and healthy, is what keeps us thriving. And like I was trying to mention, when my son was just laying in his room for 5 days, I can smell the stench because death is a stench, and people are bacteria first. I don't know what they are before. I challenge the virion. I challenge these viruses, these infections. This is my angle. This is what makes me who I am. I don't belong or fit on this YouTube shit. I do my best to mingle and feel like I'm congregating amongst a lot of you, but many of you talk to me one on one because the dojo is an easier man to discuss things with one on one. I don't. It's just difficult doing this because yes, Karen, I'm a sensitive man, and I'm quick to slice somebody's head off. It don't matter. It don't matter because one thing that Raw, my brother Jay, will agree on. That's one of the reasons why we're into children, is because the future is the children, not us grown folks. So if you think that I should care about your feelings because you're an elder, or you seem wise, or I'm too knowledgeable, so that makes me a prick, this is where you're wrong. When you're not living a certain way, then I already know your environment must be like shit. And so I live a certain way, and it's a lot of bricks that are on my back. That neighborhood that Yudit best discusses and that I talk about coming from California, there's beauty here, but there's also a cancer here. And I can be a cancer or I can be an antithesis and tell you how to heal yourself. It's my decision, mine. All this social media stuff, I figured out a way to use it to my advantage, how to help people with it, not how to do the opposite. I don't want to destroy or tear down hope. I want to build hope. It's possible. Men can do that. Real men do that. So shout out to all you ladies. And I love my sunshine. And my oracle keeps me tuned up. But I can tell you right now, I'm just DOJO. You get your fucking head cut off. Because I'm not here to play. It's the Privacy Act. I yield the floor.
Well, one thing that people do is they blame the government and say, oh, it's the government this, but we make the communities, not the governments. We do, the people. So I know that we're not taught that, but that's the truth. And the other thing is that what you're trying to say is that even though you've learned masses and you're still learning, being flat in that doesn't matter when you've got a community that really needs more than is there, like because of what you said, like illnesses or that person might have been shot, and you know, all that goes out the window. This is raw, very raw, isn't it, at that level? Isn't it, Jojo?
Yes, because if you know, out here the way I get down is if I could be blessed with a cape that made me fly, or a hammer that I can throw that would always come back to my hand like a boomerang, that would be cool, right? But I don't get down like that. I already know that it's gonna take this pistol and it's gonna take a wise mind. See, there's a lot of people who are my age who are wise enough to know that as long as we do things righteously now, we've made it out what we would consider poverty. We've made it out what some of us would look at hood, you know? But truly, we never really make it out, because going back there reminds us where we came from. And so, like I always say on all these panels that I get on, because they're really like worldwide, flat plane that is, wide, we're dealing with width. I tell everybody, you know what I'm saying, you must represent the ground that's beneath your feet. I mean, it's really simple to do small things. Like one day, and you will see, you all will witness, the day that Yudit Baz is live on a nice clear day, and as I'm watching, because usually 95% of the chance I am, when I watch the sun leave her presence through her live stream, I'm going to go live. And I'm going to watch the sun come into my presence through my live stream. That is called calculating through real time. Well, basically eye to eye. If you understand what I'm talking about, you'll understand the methodology of just doing your best to think outside the box. I mean, anybody who lives in between Yudit and I, and she's from Israel, I live in Cali, we already know that we can determine how much of the sun's rays or the light or the spectrum that we're dealing with. Because as I watch the sun leave Yudit's shore, leave the shores of Israel, I watch it brighten up the shores, or should I say the land of California. But what does New York see? And what time do they really see it? And so as flat earthers, are we really doing the practical science that allows us to say, look, I hope this guy or this girl or this lady shares my video because it's tight. You know, I'm dealing with video editing right now. You know what I mean? And right now I'm just practicing with a lot of just diverse content. But here in a minute, I'm just going to be using flat earth content. I'm just going to be using the people who are content developers, because that is the content that is of the future. When flat earthers begin to start sharing and referencing as primary sources other flat earthers, then the legacy and the spirit of flat earth will always be. But as long as we stay political, who's doing what, who got who what, who's doing what numbers, right? Flat earth is going to stay political. I yield the floor.
Yeah, we can't all do the same thing, can we? I can't do what you do. Maybe you can't do what I do. Maybe you can, but then I can't do what you did. And
beauty, because we all
yeah,
come together. We are, but we know that. That's like we know that. I'm from the streets of California. You just from the streets of Israel. We already know that what made us survive wasn't the same, but it was the same because we were all life. You know, but you can do. You're not. You don't register in your mind what you can't. Always register what you can. Remember, there's people out there like myself who's looking for feeders, people who will motivate me when my self-esteem runs low. And I know there's people out there looking for the same. I'm always looking to uplift somebody, Karen, as well as you are. You're doing your
Mm.
part the way you do your part, and we honor you for that. I think you should wear your wear your wear what is it called when the princesses wear their crowns with a little, what are those things called? Those you know,
Tiaras.
tiaras, sunshine. Wear your tiara proudly, because you're doing your part, and it speaks volumes without even having to brag about it. I mean, this is not ego. This is what spirit is. Inspiration. I yield the floor.
Oh, well, this whole thing was to try and get us all together to become a community talking, because, like I said, that we've all been turned against each other one way or another. It's not just one colour against another colour, it's all of us. Then all these lies we're living in. It's probably not surprising that we all find it harder to trust. But yeah, I don't do these things with my ego. I just want to help and, open this floor up for people to talk, because that's the only way. And there's just, maybe not in your household, Dojo, but in a lot of houses, there just is not enough talking going on. And everybody thinks that they're better than someone else. So
That's the vibe. To me, that's the vibe. That's the virtue. You know, when they say that his face shone like the sun. You know what I'm saying? They say when Moses came out the tent, right? His face shone like the sun. That he came out and everything was white as snow. You know, some would say it was the radiation that was left inside the tent, the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant had rats in it that were contaminated, okay? And so I can go real deep on that. But then even Jesus, when he came down the mountain and they all three seen it. And see, when there's multiple witnesses, I'm just using those as examples. But when multiple witnesses witness the same occurrence, it's not a dream. It's not a dream. And so when 3, 4 people tell you this is what occurred, you have a scene. We all have a scene that we're able to identify from. You know, like I was telling my man Jay, that's what makes us get along. Us people is identification. You know, who are you? What are you about? You know what I mean? Let me see your face. Whoop, 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 you know, the eyes are the windows to the soul. Things like that. Identification. We are born as Adam and Eve, and we were given the privilege to give things titles. It's my right as a man to put titles on things. It's me identifying and interpreting what this means to me. So people are able to look at me and say, this is who Dojo is. He let it be. I let myself be known. When people don't really let themselves be known, or they have, and they turn out not to be who they claim to be, it is not anyone else's fault what people may think of them. I yield the floor.
Lev, do you want to say anything? Lev?
I'm here. Muting. Um, I wanted to ask Dojo, what's your spiritual belief? Do you believe in the Bible, or are you open to all religions and stuff?
Yeah. I'm open to all. Um, my spiritual what the spiritual content of my family is according to the spiritual content of the individual. My son, he was born, um, he is real thorough with Greek. He understands the Greek terminology like if it was taught to him and it never was. He understands he understands stuff that I don't. My daughter, she's the same way when it comes to the Egypt stuff. Myself, I'm like that way when it comes to Orisha, when it comes to Ele Ifa. I never stood on content. And that was not my argument, but that was my plea with my brother Jay, is that as an Orisha, we know what Oba, Ba, which is the same as Ka or Ba in Egypt. But Egypt is the baby of Orisha. The Nile River runs down to Tanzania. And when you leave Egypt down the Nile River, you are descending into Africa, ancient Africa. So whatever Egypt or anyone when it comes to pictogram or want to support commission or Kemetic work, Israelite work, any other work, denomination, doesn't matter. When it comes to dojo, I stand on Orisha, which is nature. She allows me to know all I need to know to any man-made science or religion when I'm up against it. When I know that Obatala and the spirit of Obatala and what it means, and the spirit of Ogun, when I know what it means through what some would say, well, Orisha is voodoo and it's a religion. No, it's not. Orisha was taught to us just by the naturalism, just by the natural things in nature. If somebody snatched you up, you and the chosen five that you decided to say, can they come with you? And we dropped your ass off on an island of Jurassic, trust me when I say, all five of you gonna either learn to get along and fight to live, or some of you will be dead sooner than the others. It's really just the way of life, dojo. That's all it is. It's really just the way of life. Life is telling us everything we need to know, not content. But I don't want to make myself out to be the hypocrite. Content is man and woman expressing life to be identified who we are. My personality may shift, but my character lets you know who I am. My character is not going to change. So that's why it's difficult for Christian or Christianity to make the whole world Christian. It's because they want you born again. They want you brand new. Some of us are the way we are. That's just who we are. I yield the floor.
Yes, I see what you mean. Good job.
Maybe different religions are like
Yeah.
useful for different people. I kind of think my
It's a
outlook is
great
like,
night. It's, yeah, so much things to think about. Yeah. And I wish everybody was wake up in the morning and see really the people, look at the people that he see in his way and smile, and especially the homeless, and yeah, and be good, and be good. Bring heaven to Mother Earth for the benefit of all. Yeah. Namaste, Dojo.
Yes, namaste, Yudit. And trust when I say you only bring yourself misery when you go out to seek to bring happiness to others. Don't seek. Just like Yudit said, I'm I'm up before the sun. I'm up and right when I'm up, you know what I mean, even before I brush my teeth or something, I'm hitting up
Be
you
good
did or
to each other,
Karen. Hi, Karen. Nice to be with you. You know what I mean? Because it's
sensitive to each other.
right when we wake up is when you start to deliver that energy. Deliver is because you already generating it. Right when you cut on, it's just like a you're just the you know what I mean? And like he was explaining kinesiology, the movement of the body of or the torus field. What in physiology I would say your solar plex, you know? Laying flat is how like the way I explained it to my son. Okay, when you lay flat too long,
Wow,
you get bed sores. And that's why they rotate people
this
when
is
they're
from
sick in the hospital. But you notice that the bed sores come from the
artist.
back.
Where is your harmonica? Artist.
Yudit, artist wasn't feeling very well, so I think he's gone actually. Dojo was saying something. Carry on, Dojo.
RT's not feeling well. I wasn't.
No, he's. I think he's just got to lie down for a bit.
Yeah, it's.
I messaged you about it, Yudit.
Yeah, I'm not being transparent right now. I'm not toggling or nothing. I'm just straight. Like I said.
Dojo.
Yes, yes, you did.
Yeah, Yudit? Yudit. All right. Lev was saying something. Lev, do you want to carry on talking?
Yeah, like with religions and stuff. I kind of think it's mainly your intention in it and developing yourself as a person. Just going back onto that, like, but earlier, Dojo, you said about man being created before the earth was created. It's something I kind of talk about sometimes. I often say to people that maybe that the languages were created before we came to Earth and stuff, and colors and sounds and vibrations. So yeah, you were saying that people existed
Aaron?
before the stuff like that.
Yudit. Sorry, I don't know what's happening there. She's probably got a problem. Carry on. Sorry, Lev, carry on.
So in one sense, I always think that maybe we've got amnesia and we don't really remember where we came from. And now we're here, and now we're trying to figure it out or whatever. But I would have said no.
Do you think it's a bit more like, like animals are programmed, but they're very intuitive, so they're here to reproduce and whatever it is that each sect of animal does. But from the moment we're born, we're instilled with a lie. We're instilled with a ball and all that. So we're never, I don't know, I can't say pre the ball, like say 1900s or something like that, but because they were facing different things, wars, depression, lack of money and all that stuff. That's what the pictures show, and times and wars. But
I suppose before this place existed, it's like, if spirituality is real, then spirituality existed before this place. So they created this, but why did they need to do that, in first place? Why wouldn't we have been happy in the spiritual realm to begin with, if that's what the case is? I don't know. What do you think about that, Dojo? If you also believe that people
you're onto it.
before,
You're asking questions that one is only going to find the answers seeking. You're not going to get the answers from a man or a woman. Those are some of the questions that I ask myself. I can just tell you how I experienced it. See, when Karen says that we were all born into a lie or this confusion, because we were all born into the systematic thinking patterns. We think this certain way. You had mentioned colors. Um, 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 I mentioned identification. Everything we're still mentioned, even spirit or spirituality, has to be identified in order for us to say this is what we agree on before we even begin to speak or digress. But it's a beautiful thing, because when we ask questions that can't be answered, this is what allows us to see, is there a devil amongst us? Because a liar will only reach so far that they will lose their own balance. And we spoke about, proper form. It's a principle, but it's a man-made principle. We 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 are able to share and see each other's lives now, and from my experience and the qualities that I'm gaining, it's because I'm learning from other people's mistakes and advantages, because I'm able to experience them without being present, without necessarily being involved. These are the advantages that all life is have in their possession. It's not like how it used to be. I see articles and headlines that there's people being enslaved, organs being transplanted. I see all this destruction, all of this, everything that all of you see. It can either affect me mentally, and or it can affect me physically. You know, it it damn well can affect me mentally. We agree. The question you asked, I'm just fascinated that you asked. in the open, because that's something that I would keep to myself. Because I already know nobody can really answer it. Colors, colors are. I'm fascinated with colors. I've joined. It's not even out in public yet. It's called board slingers. People who are board slingers, we build LED panels. We build them to a certain spectrum, with a full spectrum, vegetative, growth, bloom, however. Got the yard man over here next door, closest family. I'm sorry. Apologize. But yeah, I'm a part of these little board slinging is going to be the new thing. And I'm just giving everybody a heads up. This is what it means. Because the light and the full spectrum of light, not only does it heal the individual because it mimics the sun to almost its totality, but it does something to growth into the crops. And as a board slinger, I'm able to design LED panels according to what I'm saying out of my mouth. Okay. Now I can put together a LED panel, and as soon as I display it, whether if it's patented or not, it's going to be mimicked. We understand how that works, the politics of that. But it's not about the politics, and it's not about the price tag. It's about the fight. Some of us are here to fight against the GMO, the chemtrail, the yada yada, the lies, the confusion, the household, the environment, blase blase. We're here to fight against all of that. But some of us will tell you that fight is already lost because we've already been so contaminated that there's not an alchemist out there that can tell you how to heal yourself. Both could be true. Both could be lies. All I know is this. Whatever you do, whether with your primary time or your spare time, it's all energy. And laying flat is just like thinking ignorant. You're not generating new energy that's going to bring new air to that environment, new life for new growth, all of that. Growth is knowledge because knowledge grows. Knowledge is not stagnant. Our creator does not grow. Our creator is all is. But we as human beings, we grow. And knowledge is a growth. And so anything that stumps or anything that causes root rot or anything like that that can affect a plant can affect a human. Light is where it's at. It's all about the light. I've been explaining this for almost a year now. I don't know. I'm just going on a tangent. I guess what's happening is just I'm having fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm not involved with something that's gonna make me somebody or famous, but it is gonna allow me to take care of my family and provide small jobs for the people that's located in my community. As long as my dream is bigger than the shoes that I can wear, I think I'm doing all right. I yield the floor.
I hope for change.
Oh, go ahead, Ev. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hope for change. You know, like how the world's run and who runs it and stuff. That's my goal, kind of thing, in flat Earth. But now go on, Conan.
No, I was just, yeah. Well, we're all kind of driven, aren't we, in a way? In our path, we're driven. I don't know, I'm driven to do this. I'm driven to come on nearly every day, and even on days off to try and, I don't know, if people have got things to say or, you know, and to learn. And I think if you're not learning, you do die inside if you're not learning, because there's nothing happening, is there? So to be alive is all about learning, and you're always learning. I think as you get a bit older, you realize more about what you don't like and what you don't want. But you're still learning. We're all learning because we don't know it all. Because if we did, we'd be doing this from birth, wouldn't we? And we're coming along when we've, like you say, been programmed. And it is really hard to let go of all that programming, because it is just layer upon layer of it. I mean, it just seems that practically everything is a lie and should be the other way round. So, and then we have to just find like-minded people we can talk to about it and still learn and hopefully become a community in a wider way. I yield the floor, Jojo.
That's what I love about having my, I mean, an open communication with you ladies. Is, I mean, in endurance, there's spirits behind each word, because the word is the gospel. The word is not biblically, but it's your tongue. It's your gospel. It's you. It's your good spell. You know, and they know that as long as they keep you tired or exhausted, as long as they keep you in a state that exceeds past balance, right? Then you have to learn to endure that shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the line in the dirt comes, because we look at certain areas across the plain, and we can see children at certain ages, and they have a lot of endurance on themselves. They can endure caves and digging for diamonds, and they can endure carrying a chopper through the jungle ready to blast on your ass. There's children out there that are way more harder than me, and I was born and raised in California. You know what I'm saying? And I know this information, but it's not the information that everybody know, but it's the type of information that needs to be heard, because endurance is how they got us fashioned to think the way we did when we were globalists. Every globalist has endured so much continuum that it's not even funny anymore. That their life is literally an exercise to not to get along with your ass. That's what it is. That's what
Mm.
exactly what it is, because they're globalists. They have to not get along in order to generate this, because they're enduring this. Their endurance. It's endurance. So I feel I really feel like these panels are coordinated to the fashion to where it's like we have to find where we fit best. And it's not being selfish. It's not being one-sided. It's not. It's that you have to find what feeds you. I live my life every day that way, because it's the energy that we all need, but we have to also be a servant, not a slave. There's a difference. Some say, well, there's that's synonymous, servant, slave, whatever. Nah, just it's, man, Kung Fu would tell you that same old Chinaman with that long gray beard and that little rice bowl, he'll whoop a nigga ass real quick. You know what I mean? But it looked like you can run up on him though. It looked like you can just take him out when he go check his mail. It looked like as soon as he come to his doorstep to come buy this candy, you gonna whop him. But it always looks like weakness is always vulnerable, but it is not, because weakness has some weaknesses. Weakness is not vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think they attack babies and, you know, molestation? They go for physical weaknesses, but that's because the proper it's hard to teach a child, because you don't want to indoctrinate the child. You want the child just to express themselves. Like my wife, she'll tell you, I allowed all three of my children to express themselves all the way up. I wanted to know if I was going to be raising a serial killer or a child molester. I wanted to have a head start, because you can see things in people's lives. You can see it. I'm not being rude. You can see things, but when we're all ignoring it, and then you got these smoking mirrors, and then you get good at the smoking mirrors to where damn near all of us can, man, we're so good with this technology now, we can make it look like something happened, and it really didn't occur. So it's like, what do we really believe? And so, God, it's just damn, man. Don't take my word for shit, because I'm gonna be real with you. I probably wouldn't take y'all word for nothing. You know what I'm saying? My word has kept me alive, and there's no schmut on my reputation, and that's because of my word. You know, so when I speak, it might sound egotistic, but it's what got me through, and maybe you can find something out of that. You know what I'm saying? Don't take the beans and throw that shit in the backyard and build you a bean. It's not gonna give you a fucking, you know what I'm saying, a green stalk and you climb the mountain and what? It's not gonna. No, there's no fairy tale dealing with dojo. I'm just trying to give it to you blank. You know what I mean? Just life is beautiful when you make it that way, because some of us don't even have the choice to make it. I mean, shit. I can sit here and keep rambling on for days. I've drunk me a little shot of wine and I don't forgot where I'm online. You know, those people out
Well,
there trying to
Tic
hide
Tac
shit.
in the chat room says Dojo Mojo or Mojo Dojo.
Dojo Mojo. It all depends how the acronyms gonna work together. I got my mojo back. Oh, behave. Oh, hey, what does mojo stand for anyway? Isn't mojo a potato that you buy? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that those are mojos, right? Those are potatoes.
You've got mojo. You've got sort of.
I'm just playing with you. I'm just feeling myself. Man. I don't know who's in the chat.
I think they meant it very nicely.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did, and I took it very well. That's why I'm laughing. It's really easy. Yeah, it's easy. I'm chilling. I told you today was the day God was born. You know what I mean? So I mean, I'm having fun. I wanted to give some time to you ladies because I felt that would be powerful for me to do so. What I mean by being God was born, because I was born on the 19th. That's not a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And I thought balance would be perfect to be here. You know what I mean?
This is birthday celebrations then.
Yes, it is. It is. It's you know what I'm saying? You have to feel good about who you are. You know what I'm saying? Whether if you have to tell your own self happy birthday, you know,
Yeah, happy birthday, Dojo.
you know what I'm saying? You know, but sometimes you have to remind yourself that you is all you have in the end. You know what I'm saying? When in the end of the day, or should I say in the beginning, you all you have is in the beginning. Just don't lose yourself in the end. I like it better that way. Yeah, you all you have in the beginning. Just don't lose yourself in the end. That sounds more appropriate. Yeah, shout out to everybody. I yield the floor.
Oh, we've been going for 3 hours now. It's gone very quickly. Is there anything anybody else would like to say? Lev?
Yes.
Yudit?
Yeah, thank you, DOJO. Namaste.
Namaste, Miss Bass. Namaste.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dojo.
Yeah, you got some brilliant words. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dojo, as well.
Hey, you've made some more friends.
Too, brother. I've never been on a panel with you, you know, and I only use I'm only vocal on this panel. You know what I mean? So this is a lot of, I have to endure a lot. You know what I mean? Usually I toggle or I navigate. Some would say, I guess, network. I would go to panel, you know, because I was trying to get my reputation up. I was trying to get people to know who I was on YouTube, and it didn't serve me well doing that. It made my information seem like it was hollow. And so I only usually speak on this panel, and sometimes you'll catch me speaking on Brother Sanchez panel. That's really personal. It's my business why I do that. But shout out to you, brethren. You know what I mean? Keep your kung fu sharp. Swing, it's Dojo. And yeah, that's all I like to say, man. It was fun. So I said a lot because I don't have a lot of outlets on YouTube. Actually, this is the only one. So peace, love, and happiness to my family and friends.
Oh, we love you. Thank you so much, Dojo. And 10-10 till we do it again. But thank you, Yudit. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Lev. Thank you, Artist, who's not very well right now. And thank you, Dojo. Much love to everybody. And thank you to everybody in the chat room. I'll just read a few of the names out. I said Tack Mind, Boris, Starkiller 84, Mia's, Tommy, Monique. Yeah.
Flatfred.
Pardon?
Flatfred.
Flatfred was there. No Sellout. There's Haas. There's just so many names I can't go up. But Trouble, James. The list goes on. Harsh Truth Engineer. Yeah, the list goes on. A Flat Earth Dude. Anyway, big Flat Earth hugs. We're back tomorrow with Robert Forsh, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you again, and big Flat Earth hugs from us. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Mwah.